Night Owls.
Turn on Night Owls.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Night Owls program. Alan Robson with you, of course. Where the hell else would I be? And we are talking of many things tonight. We got a lot of reasons why you should be picking up your telephone and giving us a call. 0191 488 3188, or alternatively, you can contact us on WhatsApp 07863 431 837 and just send a message. Do you want to come on the show? Please do. Or if you want to put a message in, do that as well. Now, we're talking hidden gems. Many of you are well aware that we go out every Friday hunting for history and hunting for ghosts. And we've been having a hatful of success, particularly this week when we were out at the Lit and Fill in Newcastle upon Tyne. But the one thing that's happened that we never expected is that when we go out there, we find hidden gems, places in the north that we've driven past a million times, but when you stop and look, there's all kinds of cool things. We found the old cross in Wrighton, a pub run by the people who live there, own the pub. How cool is that? And it's got an amazing family feel. They're incredible places to get a bite to eat, dotted across the place. The Ghastly Pool in Bamborough, the Spooky Woods in Allendale. And as Sam Fender is starting his tour this very night, I thought we would do a double-header challenge at the beginning of the show. First of all, wherever you live, I want you to write down the three things that sum it up. It could be pubs, it could be great shops, it could be people that work in the shop that you're really close to. It could be a monument, a statue, a beauty spot, something stupid that you hate that's on your own backyard. You want to tell the whole world the best and worst about where you live. Pick up your telephone, give me a ring and tell me about the best and worst of where you live. That's it. So, I just thought Alnwick, for example, if I was doing Alnwick in Northumberland, I'd go the Dirty Bottles, fabulous little pub with that amazing story in the window. Then you've got the Percy Lion and the Hotspur Arch, where they used to hang the bodies of people. Alnwick Marketplace. So that's a cool start. Bishop Auckland, Barney, Eyemouth up on the Scottish borders, Middlesbrough, Stockton, Darlow, wherever you happen to be, however small, however mighty, wherever you are on planet Earth, we want to know about the best and worst of where you are. Okay, so let's do that. We also have another challenge for you where you've got to name whose hits. But because of the Sam Fender thing, because that's a big deal, he's doing really well, we want to support him and boost him up a bit. I thought if every song ever written was written in the north. Now, we have many tribes. We have takes from Yorkshire. We've got the folk of Durham. We've got Mackhams. We've got Smoggies. We've got Geordies. We've got the Pitmatics. We've got the border folk. We've got a lot of different tribes kicking around. Doesn't matter what tribe you are, dip your bread. Now, I just sat down and had a bit play, so I've come up with a few examples of how, if every song ever written was written in the Northeast. God Only Knows, okay, for the Beach Boys hit. I'm Ganin Oot, the Diana Ross song. Elton John singing War Song, very good. My favourite so far is I'd do oot for ye pet, but I wouldn't do that, okay? Yeah, and incidentally, subtitles are not available if you can't speak Northern. That's just a sadness on your part. See if you can work them out would be your challenge tonight. Palmo Chameleon, Culture Club. The massive hit by Black Box, Right on Tyne, okay? Dear me. The Hoolies are back in tune. There you go. And instead of Oh Danny Boy, Oh Canny Lad. So come up with hits written in the Northeast. Have a play around with it and see just how good you can manage to come up with stuff. But talking about the North, we do this better than anybody else. For example, if you go up the Simonside Hills, what would you find?
any amount of black arrows in the Simon Side Hills, that's absolutely lifting with them.
Simon Side Hills, really? I would never have thought.
Everywhere. Oh, aye.
We're told that they're a species that's not growing in the way that they should, because they used to be all over places like Wooler back in the day, and then all of a sudden nobody'd seen one for years. Presume, can they kill you? Because I was always told they could when I was a little lad, but that was probably just to stop me picking one up.
Yeah, no, I would never give it the chance.
So, where else could we cover? Well, sometimes people travel away from the north, like Dr. Chris, the doctor from this morning.
Yeah, I'm from Wallsend.
Unbelievable.
I left there in 1963, came down to Manchester to the medical school here, and then settled down here. But, oh, God, Wallsend, Newcastle, oh, it's in my blood.
Mind you, you've had to tidy up that accent.
Well, you know, I wouldn't want to lose my accent, but we've been in Manchester since 1963. It's just been diluted down, and I've lost it. But I tell you, whenever I go back, I'll slip straight away. And I'm very proud of the Geordie accent.
It is true, though, that if you go to another part of the world, even if you're from, you know, if you live in the northeast, you sort of tidy up how you talk a little bit, and then as soon as you start talking to somebody else from the north, it just splurges out again, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's in your blood.
There you go. I absolutely agree with that. Then, of course, there are some ghosty kind of things, like the stuff that happens in places like Lumley.
When I hear your stories and that, Alan, you know what keeps coming back to my mind?
What's that?
And it's a long time ago. You were in the castle, right? And you were in the dungeon.
Yeah.
And you heard, like, clacking the keys and everything and chains.
Yes, I did.
And it was a bloody security guard.
It was.
Can you remember you nearly jumped out your seat?
I did. It was one of the very, very earliest ones that we did.
Yes.
And we were in Lumley Castle.
Is that where it was?
It was. I was in the dungeons of Lumley Castle. And the only way in is stairs down from the Great Hall. And I spent a fair bit of my time just looking through the bars of the window to see if there was anything coming down the stairs or whether you could see anything at the top of the stairs. As I was watching the stairs and chatting to somebody on air at the time, I just remember seeing this black shape coming through the darkness, and you kind of go, and backing away from the door.
I know.
And then the guy went and says, "Night porter, are you all right, son?"
That's
oh.
right.
And I nearly had a heart attack.
It never, you know, like, always seem to remember that one, you know.
It's one that won't go away, that's for sure. Yeah, you always find that the most embarrassing ones stay with you till you die. Now, on Night Owls, the one thing I'll say, over the years, we've been really good at reading out any of your poems. If you have a poem that you think, oh, the world should hear that, share it with us. Tonight, of course, we're looking at all things northern.
Today I met a posh board walking down the street. I put on my best smile and said, "Are you all right?" She looked us up and down and said, "My God, a real-life peasant." I looked her up and down and said, "Why, that's not very pleasant." She asked the way to Darras Hall. I said, "I haven't a clue." "Well, I'm not surprised at that," she said, looking at the state of you. "No need for that," I said to her. "You're still engaged yet. And if you want to get out alive, I'd go and read Canny Pet." Out came a diamond-encrusted phone. "I'm going to report you," she said. The piece came screeching round the bend and arrested her instead. So the moral of this story, if you're a Southern Jess, be nice to a good old Geordie or you'll end up in a mess.
There you go, you see. We've occasionally got to teach people a bit of Northern, because, blame me, most of the country would need it. The stupidest phrase in the world.
Right.
And it's, where were we?
Bless you.
You give it a try. Where were we?
This sounds like a lot of W's.
It's an awful lot. Where were we? Where were we? Somebody's remembering an anecdote that happened in a pub, but can't remember where the city is. Well, where were we? It's where were we?
Oh.
Where were we? And also, of course, if you need to call the police, you would say, for example, if somebody, heaven forbid, flashed at you on your way back to Silksworth,
right,
you would say, "Do that again and I'll get the police."
The police?
Yeah.
That's not even shortening the word, though.
No.
It would make more sense to just say police.
Yeah, but you have to be terribly posh and from Bexley Heath to say that.
Right. So if you were going above the speed limit,
Yeah.
I would say,
Get the polish on you.
ho man,
Oh, man.
go
Gan
canny.
canny,
Oh,
absolutely.
I'll get the polish on you.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
You still sound the poshest Geordie I've ever heard. And then there's the question, but what would happen in the Northeast if Martians visited us? If there were Martians and they ever did come here, our answer would be a baseball bat, wouldn't it? It'd be, oh, it's green, howk it. That's how we deal with it. You never see that in films like Independence Day. Instead, we're all standing on the top of a building going, welcome. Hello, E.T.
Yeah.
No. Baseball bat every time.
Yeah. Well, look at what happened to them that said that.
There you go. You can't argue with that. So, we want your stories. Pick up your telephone. Chris is waiting for you right now. Give him a ring. 01914883188. Or that WhatsApp number if you just want to send us a message. 07863 431 837. Now, we've got a lot to deal with. We're told, we are hoping that the stories coming out of Ukraine, that there could be peace by the beginning of May. I would love to think even faster. We don't want those people to suffer anymore. Also, thanks to everybody who's mentioned that shock that everybody got on Friday night at the Littenfield in Newcastle when part of the building came. One of the lights smashed down right in the middle of the ghost hunt and almost paralyzed, blew our minds. And the guy, did you hear that story about the lad who was chased by the police for hours? And when they eventually stopped him, they asked to see his license, and he gave a driving license from Legoland. That's brilliant. Love that. Also, will Donald Trump go to prison? They can pretty much prove now that he tried to pull the wool over the eyes of the entire nation by saying that the election was fixed when it wasn't. And even the company who did it want to sue him. And if he can't pay the billions they're asking, he could go the journey for that too. So what do you think could happen with Trump? Russian cosmonauts. I'm giving the Russian cosmonauts top marks. They're going up to the space station and they've chosen to wear the colours of Ukraine to go up there. And I think that takes a bit of guts. Also, this is fascinating. The P&O ferries collapse. Awful, awful story. You've probably seen that in the press. And the first story was P&O collapse, but it's nothing to do with Brexit, which is absolute proof that it's to do with Brexit. The government's come straight out to say, no, but it's nothing to do with Brexit. It's selling tickets to people to go to Europe and to bring Europeans to Britain. Of course it's about Brexit. And Newcastle to buy Neymar? Really? Does the Northeast want a £30 million superstar? What do you think? Or should we buy grafters? Blimey. 1,000 things to talk about, but let's get to the busy bit. Your calls, and we're kicking off with Allison in Anfield Plain. Hi, Allison.
Hi, Alan. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Not too bad at all.
Chappy thing. So what you got for us tonight then?
Well, you put the post on Facebook about hidden gems in our area.
Yes, I did.
So I thought I'd ring and tell you about my latest little venture.
Oh, go on then.
Well, I've just gotten a job.
Right.
And actually it's in one of the hidden gems in our area.
Uh-huh.
And it's called the Glass and Art Gallery in Concert.
The Glass and Art Gallery.
Yeah. It's on Medhamsley Road in Concert, and it's a gift shop.
Right.
It's been there for over 20 years.
Right.
And basically what they do is they sell artists' work. So it's lots of different artists
Right.
who make things out of glass, but also make things out of wood, all kinds of things.
Right.
And they sell their goods inside that gift shop. So the variety is absolutely amazing.
And it's probably one of those things that you would not have heard of unless somebody rang a radio station and said, you'll never guess.
Exactly.
I absolutely agree. The funny thing is, with us going about more often than we ever have in the past, because traditionally we'd do a ghost hunt about once every 3 months, 4 months it would be. Yeah. Now we're doing them all the time, which gives us a chance to be there and prep what's there. And then, But when you're on the ground and you're walking along and you're saying, you see that? What an amazing restaurant that look. Because even in places that you would never expect, we found fabulous places to eat, amazing shops that nobody plugs and nobody pushes. And it's that's exactly what tonight's all about, because every area's got those, even if it's a corner shop where somebody goes the extra yard for you every time you're in there, because a lot of shops don't do that now. And it used to be, well, that's what you did if you had a little business. You did your best to be amicable. So no, I love
and
that.
it's supporting like the local businesses as well, because I just think that's absolutely amazing. When you put the poster on, I thought that is just perfect, because people like Marilyn O'Keefe, who actually runs the shop.
Yeah,
she's a world-renowned like glass artist,
right?
And she does stained glass.
Wow!
And there aren't many places around here that do stained glass, so you can commission to have a stained glass window made, or she makes them for cathedrals, for churches all over the world.
Right.
And that's happening in concert.
Because I must say, it's much better than the way that they used to make stained glass in Benwell, where I was brought up. It involved a young lad in a spray can, and it was not the same. Never quite looked as good as you say, but this is great. So it's Marilyn and Keith. They're at the Glass and Art Gallery, Medhamsley Road, because that's one of the main roads right through Concert. So
but it's just a tiny little front of the shop, hidden away.
Right.
So unless you know it's there, you don't see it.
So
you've got to make a trip.
What is it near that everybody would know in Concert then?
What used to be the old council offices, it's opposite that.
Right, opposite the
so
old
if you
council.
go into the centre of Concert,
yeah,
and then head off towards Medhamsley Road, which is where the old council offices used to be, it's on your left-hand side.
There you go.
Near the social services building.
So if you go into Concert for your shop, or if you live nearby and you want a day looking at something different, or if you want to buy something different, because all of these will be unique one-offs, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
from what I'm hearing. So if you want a bit of proper art, the real McCoy, made by artisans across the Concert area, the Glass and Art Gallery, Medhamsley Road, Concert. And when are you in, so they can come and say hello to Allison?
I don't actually start work till the 4th of April. So
right.
I'll be there from the 4th of April. Most days it's open 9:30 or 4:30, 6 days a week.
She's guaranteeing her job lasts, I think, here.
I am, yes. And they've also just opened a really good part of it that's aimed at men. Because there's not many gift shops that are aimed at men.
Right.
So they've opened a room called the Swordsman's Room.
Right.
Which is just all gifts that are for men. And it's amazing.
Because I think men are hard to buy for. Because
they are.
We don't want socks. We don't want hankies with our initial on them. And that's what we get. Or we get like bar and nutty chocolate, and that's your gift. Yeah. So to have somewhere to go, there you go. Get in the Swordsman's. Oh, that's very flashing blade mine, the Swordsman's Room. I like the sound.
You'll have to come and visit me on.
Have to. Anytime we're next in Concert. Because if we do a ghosty, we're there usually across the afternoon, so that we can have a look around and
pop in
and take a walk out. So we will definitely do that. Okay, what about Anfield Plain then, Ali? Because that's where you live.
Oh, I know. I was racking my brains when you said that at the very beginning, thinking, right.
What's the highlight of Anfield Plain? The highlight. What's the? Is there a shop? Is there a pub? Is there a great takeaway?
Not anymore.
Is there a statue? Is there a somewhere that people go to chill out and have a picnic? Where is it? What is it?
Honestly, I'm racking my brains. I can't think of anything in Anfield Plain now. It used to be the Plainsman pub.
Right.
And that burned down. And since that burned down, and then it used to be the Coach and Horses, and they've closed the Coach and Horses now. The clubs used to be the clubs, because that's where kind of I was in growing up, and they've all closed down now. So it's really difficult. But they're definitely trying to make Anfield Plain a little bit more up and coming. We've got a nice cafe there now.
Right. Do you know what
called Hugger Mugs.
Hugger Mugs.
Hugger Mugs. And they sell lovely cakes.
Booger Lugs.
Hugger Mugs.
Oh, Hugger Mugs. Gosh, sorry, I was thinking that's as northern as you get, if you were going to call it that. Hugger Mugs, right? I'm with you now.
Hugger Mugs.
And what do they do?
They do. It's like that's a little gift shop as well. They've got a coffee shop,
right?
And then they sell gifts and reclaimed kind of furniture. So they do like not reclaimed. What's the one I'm looking for? Where they
upscaled.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes. So they sell little things like that, but they do lovely cakes and they're nice coffee.
Brilliant.
So that I would say that's probably a good central point that Anfield Plain's starting at.
Right.
But I think we need more people. So if anybody, there's a couple of shops vacant at the moment.
Right.
Anybody wants to start a shop, come to Anfield Plain.
Because there's
need
plenty
you.
room, and it's on the rise. The signs
It is on the rise.
The signs are there. Oh well, I think
we
it's
just
always a
need to
shame
work
when
hard at it.
you're going to scratch your head to think of this is where I live, and
Yeah.
because there should be loads, shouldn't
We've
there?
got some lovely walks.
Right. Oh well.
Where you can
Just
kind of
start.
like go for walks or on the cycle path and things like that. But there's not a lot in Anfield Plain now. And that's sad. It does make me sad.
No, it is absolutely. Anything
But
else, said
we
Allison?
need to come together as a community and build it up.
No, you should absolutely. That's what's necessary. Anything else while you're on, Allison?
No, I think that's about it.
Lovely start.
There's
Thanks very much.
Lots of things happening, but yeah, let the other callers on.
She's going to work again. Hurrah! That's great.
Yes.
Good luck with a new job. Thanks, Allison.
Okay, take care. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. We love Allison. So there you go. Perfect way to start. Well, apart from the fact we're Greatest Hits Radio Northeast, therefore, we should play a corking bit of music. Right.
Let's try that. I'm recording.
Hi, everybody. Alan Robson with you. Another one of our near legendary ghostly trips. And tonight, we're somewhere spectacular that I've never been before, and I bet quite a few of you haven't too. It's this building over here where Kenny is guarding the door. But the reason I wanted to tell you is because we're in the centre of Newcastle. Obviously, at this time of night, there's all kinds going on. It's bucketing. What a surprise. However, everything happened here. This is the main road that leads right away across to Newcastle Castle at the far end. This is the route that Wallace took when he came to attack the castle. Came down here, then he came across the opposite side and fired on the castle from Gateshead. The most interesting thing is, if ever you come down to this part of Newcastle, even if, I don't know, Tony, whether you can just catch, directly opposite, there's a tiny little valley. If you look through the peepee hole, there's a little tiny alley just across there. There's alleys in all directions, and they've all got really cool names. For example, in the time of Queen Elizabeth I, there were 3 people running away from some of her men, because let's face it, we're in the north, they're very much in the south, so therefore we felt a little bit left out, and why should we pay taxes to those people all the way down there? Well, 3 men fell on a set of stairs just up here, not very far away actually from the Civic Centre, a little bit further south, and they called the stairs Breakneck Stairs. They're still called the Breakneck Stairs. Literally just along the road here is Tuthill Stairs. Why is it called Tuthill Stairs? Because thieves used to keep Toot from the top of the stairs, and whenever they spotted somebody that had a bundle full of coins, or even maybe just had a bundle of coins, they'd spot him, point him out, he'd be robbed, and the man keeping Tuthill Stairs, he got a cut to make sure that he kept everybody safe from getting caught. So in every direction, there's very cool stories. This whole building didn't used to be a building. It used to be a big garden belonging to the Earls, the Neville family. And we've got loads of stories to tell you about that. And story of a device called a maiden that I bet you think you know what it is. But I'll tell you what it is once we get inside. Come on, let's do it. Ready to go? Let's do it.
It's another noise.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to an amazing place. As you saw, we've come up here into the Lytton Fill, one of the real, genuine hidden gems here in the Northeast. Really a place well worth looking at. Floors and floors of books and literature, CDs, a sitting room for the entire Northeast. It's a beautiful place to be in. Tonight, we're looking slightly darker, and make sure that you share. And if you do, you'll get one of our glorious night owl badges. Make sure that you do. Now, with respect to this place, history, my goodness, 1793, it was founded by the Reverend William Turner, whose painting is in the hall. I'll show you him a little bit later on. And it opened in 1825. But before that, this whole place used to be the land of the wealthy, really. Rich man's place. Now, the Neville family particularly, they were earls and they had a house on this very site. And they go back way to the time of Richard II, the 1300s, will you believe? And we've got some amazing history from back then about the land that this amazing place is on. So we're not going to waste any time. We're getting straight into this. Kenny's got his camera on. Kenny, if you can do a straightforward throw, if you can go right down to the basement, there's a room off to your left. And then when you get down, there's the full, go up and down every see what you get. Up the top as well. Because the amazing thing, before we even started though, Kenny, tell them what happened.
Oh, unbelievable. Before we started, there was a noise in the center of the room, a bang, and this torch literally jumped off the table. It really did it. I thought, oh, burst.
And the first thing we all said was, are we on? Are we on?
Camera, and we weren't. Obviously, we weren't. But we set up, Gwen and Ted through there, so hopefully.
But when we got to that table, there was a bang
right here.
Just over here.
Just over here.
And we both said, oh, it's starting.
Yeah.
And at that moment,
the torch
fell
off the table.
Piece of paper fell off at the other side.
And then a chair, or the chair as well. The chair one.
So, hey, if we get that, anything like that, we've set a few traps as well around and about the place. There's one here. There's one on a set of ladders that allows people to get to the top shelf over yonder. So we've got a lot going on. And I think the best thing we can do is get cracking. Kenny, off you go, mate. Now, the story of this part of Newcastle, we're at the bottom of Westgate Road. We're actually on Neville Street, named after... What did you get, Kenny?
Straight away, there was did you not hear the click there? There was just a click just here. Right, I'm fine.
Kenny's already getting some stuff. And we're just walking, we're just cruising around, looking for anything that generates the noise. Already seen videos of doors opening, that kind of thing. Clicks and bangs. And one of the original copies of Frankenstein right on the shelf right in front of me. You can't get more appropriate than that. The Neville family, Neville Street, just outside of here. The Battle of Neville's Cross, very big famous families. But this place is famous because I gave a clue to when we were coming here, and the clue was utterly pointless. The man who is the great chairman of the Lytton Fill is Alexander Armstrong. But a lot of other famous people have been here too. You had Swan, who invented
Double Eight. This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest hits radio.
And don't forget to get some more of those northern hits. Every song in the world, turn it northern. That's what I want you to do. Honky Tonk Wifey, that classic Rolling Stones song. Little Jarrows. I think that was Leapy Lee back in the 60s. And I quite like this. It's a Beatles song, Something in the Way She Moves. stomach in the way she gans. And if you're an Oasis fan, didn't look back in a raj. There you go. So you get the idea. Whatever accent you have, whatever tribe you belong to, you're Northern, so you're one of us. And all you got to do is give us a call. Either call us, WhatsApp us, get that message through. Vicky's with us. She is in Washington. Hello, Vicky.
Hiya, Alan. Are you all right?
I'm good, darling. Thank you very much. What you got for us then?
Oh, well, I got a message last week asking if I wanted to come on, and I got COVID, so I was absolutely floored, and I didn't see the message till tonight.
Hey, no worries.
So I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm a week late. I'm all right.
Good.
The headaches were just out of this world, but other than that, I've been absolutely fine.
Now, hang on. Were the headaches really that bad, or was that just to keep men off you?
Maybe a bit of both.
Bit of both. That's fair.
Any excuse is going to be after that these days. God, 41 now. I'm done.
Well, what are you ringing about?
So, your topic tonight about like the places where you live.
Yeah.
So I live in Washington.
Right.
Washington Village. You did a ghost walk there.
We
at
did.
The old hall and the church on the hill.
That's right.
And
we did.
I remember the story that you told about the church on the hill. I'd never heard anything like that before. But when we were kids, we used to always like walk around in there and like, or it was dead spooky.
Absolutely.
I'd love to do it again. I'd love it if you came and did it. If you ever come and do a ghost walk there, I'd love to come.
We're bound to. We're actually bound to come back to Washington Old Hall because the last one we did was obviously on radio, and we're doing them now on film. So we'd love to. We'd absolutely love to. We'd love to do that again. The thing about the church though is it's right next to the old hall.
It is, yeah.
It's just over the wall, really, isn't it?
It literally overlooks, doesn't it?
Yes. I mean, to have the two side by side is a gift, isn't it?
It's lovely. And I think the thing with the villages, it's so, I don't know if you know this as well, but if you go a little bit up from the village where the old miners' welfare, not the miners' welfare, it's now a boxing club.
Right.
But it used to be where the miners used to go down into the shaft. And there's been a lot of ghost walks done around there as well.
Right. Oh,
and around the big hill. So there's been a lot of like ghostly sightings around there as well, so I don't know if you'd include that.
Well, if we come down to the village, we'll do the whole village. I would have thought. That's what we
it's
try.
fab. I love it. I love where I live.
And the funny thing is, for those people that know Washington, because a lot of people don't know Old Washington, because you're in the old part. The vast majority of people just know zone this, zone that, and how to completely get lost and not find anything.
Isn't it? The districts the districts used to get everybody lost, didn't they? But the funny thing is with Washington is like you've got a lot of like obviously you've got the F pit that's been done up now into a museum. That's meant to be haunted as well.
Right, I've heard that.
And you've got a lot of like old pit areas, but they're now like stuck in the middle of like the Washington New Town where they've built up like all the new buildings and it's all like council estates, part of it's board, part of it's still council. But then you've got this, if you go down to Fatfield, you've got this really lovely walk around the river.
Yes, that's right.
But you've also got these really random pit tunnels.
Yeah.
And you can actually walk through the pit tunnels and go out to the other side.
Give over. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Can you? Because you see, Fatfield is and I know everybody talks about the lantern worm wrapping itself around Penshaw Hill, because that's what the song says.
Yeah.
But the song's wrong, because the worm or the dragon, it was Worm Hill in Fatfield.
Worm Hill, yeah.
And Worm Hill there's a pub, and then that goes down to the bridge over the river, doesn't it?
That's right, yes, that's the bit again. Worm Hill is one of the best places to go sledging when it snows, but it's at your own risk. It is at your own risk. But yeah, honestly, it's when you go around the Fatfield River Loop, it's beautiful.
Right.
And it's so tranquil, but you come across these little random tunnels, and I always just think of like Pennywise popping out, thinking we all float down here.
Yeah, I bet.
I won't even shine the torch down there, but my partner does. He'll go down, he'll have a look, and he'll show the kids what's in there.
Right.
And he came across a few kids a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, "Can you really go down there and like walk around?" My fellow was like, "Apparently you can, just make sure you've got your torch on. If you can't get there, come back.
Right.
But apparently, the story is, if you go through the tunnels, you will come out the other side. I'm not going to try it.
I think it's an ask, isn't it? Because it gets smaller and smaller, though, doesn't it, on the way down?
Well, it doesn't look like it does, but it looks like it. Once you get 100 foot in, it turns off, so you're not getting natural light in. So I don't know. Not my.
It's a bit of a bottle tester, that one. But we're going to have to add it.
Definitely.
Got to add it to the list now, though, because it sounds amazing. And it'll be interesting to find out what the tunnels did. Was it just for pulling coal out, or?
I think what they did was they brought coal. The coal came down on the carriages to the river through the tunnels,
right?
And that's why they came from one end to the other.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
So
because we're a honeycomb in the northeast, underground. You know, we've got pit workings all over the place, haven't we?
Oh, we have. Well, my granddad used to work down the pit, and apparently he used to work that deep down and that far out. He was under the North Sea.
Right,
apparently.
Yeah, absolutely.
But where I'm next to is obviously in Washington Village is what's called the Glebe Pit.
Right.
So when you walk up from the old hall, you've got the old remnants of our boxing club. But if you go in there, there's always loads of activity in there as well.
Yeah. Stories to the left and stories to the right. You also wanted to mention Ukraine as well. What's your view on all of that then, Vic?
Do you know what? It really upset us, to be honest, like hearing this news of the invasion in Ukraine. I just... you don't expect to hear it in this day and age, do you? Like a country like that being invaded, and I think my worry is now that I've got children. Well, the first week I think I sat here waiting for like bombs to get dropped on us as well. It's just what do you do? What do you expect?
Awful, isn't it? The hope is, and to be honest, there's been some signs of positivity, like the Russian astronauts dressing in Ukrainian colours. You've got news people coming on the news saying you're being lied to. I mean, that kind of thing would have been absolute. Nobody would have thought that would have happened even 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Well,
so maybe the world has to have something like this so we can all say, let's have no more.
This is the thing. I think the Russian people, this is not them. This is not their doing.
No, of course not.
It's like the higher authorities, but I don't like America poking the fire.
Well, we are a bit as well, you see, because they're asking for help. So we're saying, here's some rockets, which is essentially saying, go kill Russians. So the whole thing is very dangerous. I hope common sense happens and then we can get back to normal as soon as we possibly can with protections and I think the people of Ukraine are going to have to accept that they're not going to be able to join NATO.
One of the things I've done is obviously, like, I mean, it's a long time ago now, but I don't really know particularly a lot about the old Soviet states and how things like that worked. And I love watching people's travel vlogs. Right. So there's a guy on YouTube called Bald and Bankrupt, and he's an English guy. He speaks Russian languages and he travels around the old Soviet states and he looks for like these old Soviet mosaic things, and he's very intelligent, he's very informative, and he's like, I've learned a lot from him. And the Eastern European countries, like there's a lot of parts of there which are so poor, and so there's a lot of places which have been abandoned.
Absolutely.
They had like lovely infrastructure and factories and like industry, and it's all gone since it's been cut off from the
because they took all the money out of it. I must move on, Vic. We need an advert in here, unfortunately. But thank you very much for calling.
No, that's lovely. But anyway, I just want to say, like, I just think there's a lot more going on, like, than we know, and I hope everything works out all right.
I hope so too. Thank you, Vicky. Great call. Thanks for coming on.
Nice to speak to you. Bye-bye.
Bye. I love that Fatfield tunnels. We're going to definitely have to have a look at those suckers. Anyway, quick break. I promised you it is. Great. And this was the very first building in all of the north to be electric lit by William Swan's amazing new device, the light bulb. Also here, Stevenson came here. and he demonstrated his new lamp for the mines, the Geordie lamp. So there's an awful lot of history. Other fellows of the Lit and Phil, Sid Chaplin, obviously Swan and Stevenson, Neil Tennant, Pet Shop Boy, no less. And I'm not surprised. And this place just reeks of history. And at every corner, there's a darkness and there's a shadow to it. I'm going to get the torch. I think maybe we'll need it. If there's anyone here, make some noise. Make some noise for us. What's your name? Talk to me. Oh, yes. Talk about comfy. What are you saying? Make yourself known if there's anyone here. Is that you? Top shelf? Right in the very top. Oh, there's a window there. Yeah.
That was in the top corner, that one.
We're getting noise in the top corner. We do have noises here. Come on. If there's anyone there, make some noise.
What are we talking about next? You make the call. 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And we have got a couple more of those songs. Heaven is a place on earth. You can't argue with that. And instead of Wonderwall, Baker Wall has been suggested. Thanks, Andy, for that. Get yours in. If you can think, if every song on... Oh, here we go. Vicky Tinian, Meatloaf. I'd out for love, but I wouldn't do that. There you go. David, looking threatening there, David, on your picture. The hurty-curty is the... is the Ashington version of the Hokey Cokey, an Adele or Lionel Richie song. Elrit, songs from the north. Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Tune, Rainbow instead of Tarot Woman, Jarrow Woman. Mike Amory, All the Leaves is Brune and the Sky is Grey. You know this one, I do. And Aerosmith, Didn't Want to Miss Out. Aye, fair enough. It kind of kills that one a bit, though, doesn't it? Because that's a great song, Aerosmith. 0191 488 3188. Keep them coming in, thick and fast. Thick, more often than not. Adam's with us. He's in Gateshead. Hi, Adam.
Hello.
Hello. What are you talking about tonight?
Well, actually, I was wanting to talk about what my favourite place is nearby.
Oh, go on then.
There's a piece of artwork up behind Springwell Estate between here and Beacon Loft that was made out of the old Regis Bridge.
All right, yes,
And it looked, when I first moved to the estate, and when I wasn't in a wheelchair, we were walking around and we found this place and we thought it was an old castle ruin.
Right.
And it's made to look like that, and it was beautiful at the time. Drug addicts and that have spray painted and everything now, but at the time it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because that's a bit of proper history. That's where the first bridge was before they built the new radio.
Well, no, it's made out of the bricks from the old Regis Bridge.
Right. They've made an art piece out of it, out of the old beams.
He built it to look like an old castle ruin, and it really does.
Yeah. It's a shame, though, that people have to spoil it, because they're pooing on their own doorstep. It's just wrong, isn't it?
It is.
I hate all of that. But you've sent some pictures in. Thanks for that.
Yeah, we took them when we were up there. And it was such a beautiful place. But Rachel, my wife, pushed us up there a couple of years back, and it was ruined. It's disgraceful now.
That's a shame. Damn shame. Anything else then, Adam?
Another one that's really nice is down behind Fewster Square, where the park is, where there's the swans on the lake.
Yeah, that's a nice part of the world, absolutely.
It's not what you would expect in a shopping area when you see swans walking across the square for the being sunbathed during the summer.
Yeah, brilliant. That's good stuff. Thank you very much for coming on, Adam. Great hearing from you. Thank you, mate. Bye-bye. So Gateshead, you see, there's stuff to be seen. Because I used to work in Gateshead for a few years, end of Sunderland Road. And Curly's Bar was always like a hidden gem. It got rougher towards the end. And next door, the pharmacy that sold the sarsaparilla that would make you poo your pants if you didn't get to work damn fast after downing one. David's with us. He's in Jarrow. Hi, David.
Good evening, Alan.
Hello,
Thank
mate.
you very much for talking this evening. By the way, I got a message earlier on asking us if I wanted to come on the show.
Okay.
So I thought, yeah.
Good. Right. So what did you want to talk about then, David?
Basically, I wanted to ask your opinion on the future of hospital radio, because I was reading a story the other day about that radio's changing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just wondered what your opinion is on hospital radio,
I don't think hospital radio necessarily will change. I know radio in general has had massive changes over the last few years, but hospital radio, I think, is a really important thing. And it also gives people a chance to learn their craft so that they can hopefully get themselves a job on ordinary radio and standard radio. It's a great training ground for people because you get the chance to plan a show, host a show, and meet the audience, meet the people who are listening to it. So I think it's a great thing. Are you involved with it, David? You must be.
Yeah, I do it, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I like seeing the patients as well. I do request shows on the station as well. So.
Right, that's great. Do you ever go around the wards?
Yeah.
Do you
go around the wards as well? It's great.
That's what I mean. You see, that's a side of radio that you never get to see the person on the microphone usually, but you've got an audience there you can go out and see, and if they want to hear any particular songs, you can write them down and then play them on your request show. It's perfect. What radio was for, to take requests.
And the likes of Steve has done it before. Steve Burnell off the breakfast show as well,
Right, absolutely. No, a lot of people have done it.
But presenters as well,
Sure. No, I was president of the Hospital Radio Association some years ago. And
that's the HBE, isn't it? Yeah.
And I've been around a lot of the different hospital radios. They're great. I love the fact that it's proper grassroots radio. I think it's a brilliant training ground. So
Definitely.
yeah, good stuff.
Also, another thing as well, I've got some jokes for you as well.
Come on, then, let's have them.
Why did the inventor scrap his belt made of watches?
Why did the inventor scrap his belt made of watches? I don't know.
It was a waste of time.
It was a waste of time. Right, what's your next one?
The next one that I've got is, 1 second.
Okay.
Doctor, I keep dreaming that I'm drowning in an ocean of fizzy orange liquid.
Right.
Don't worry, it's just a fantasy.
Oh, it's just a fantasy. Right, okay. You got another one?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay, right.
The next one is... I went to the pet shop the other day and I asked the lady behind the counter for some honeybees, a dozen of them, anyway, to give us 13. And I said, there's one too many. And she said, oh, it's a freebie.
It's a freebie. Oh, dear. Thank you very much, David. Good talking
Thank
to you.
you.
Thanks for coming on. Scary jokes. If you got any scarier than that, you probably do. Give us a call, 0191 488 3188. I'm going to play you another greatest hit. It's going to be from the Supremes. So let's talk to one of them. The great and late Mary Wilson. So how did the whole idea of the Supremes reach you then? Because you're just a little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, how did it happen?
Yes. Well, you know what? It was actually through school because we were in like the 8th grade, I think it was.
Right.
And I went to a talent show. It was a talent show we had at school, and I met Florence Ballard there. She was on the same show. And we were just singing. I was pantomiming to Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers song, "I'm Not a Juvenile Delinquent."
Right.
And yeah, it was really cool. And so it was the first time I had ever done anything like that. But the kids were just having a ball. And also Florence was on the same show, and she sang Ave Maria.
Right.
So yeah, so after the show we kind of got together and said, boy, she said, you were really good. And I said, your voice is great. And so we just started talking. And pretty soon someone asked her if she wanted to be a part of this group. Well, we had said when we first met each other that if anybody wanted to get a group together, we would remember each other. So we became friends. And then, a couple of months later, Eddie Kendricks and Paul Williams, who later on became 2 members of the Temptations, they had a little group going, and their manager wanted to get a girl group together. Right. So Florence knew one of them, and they asked her, and then she asked me, and then somebody went across the street and asked Diane, who we didn't know very well. And that's kind of how we got together.
This place goes on and on forever. You've got to see. She's right the way down there, and there's another room up there that we have to visit.
Got Gwen and Ted down here. Right. We've put a camera on them this time.
Right, good.
So
right,
we'll be able to see if anything happens.
Sure.
There's the light bulb.
That's William Swan. Is this the man? Robert Louis Stevenson next door. And that's not his. That's the Geordie lamp.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Swan's. How about that? That's the lamp the miners used to take down the pit. Amazing. Oh, you get that?
Yeah, ticking.
Like footsteps.
We've got the ball. One of them. I don't know where the other one's gone. And the EVP recorder is recording.
Right. We're in the St. James Knot room. Look at all these books. I'm a bit of a book fan. Blimey.
This would be an intimidating read, wouldn't it? Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Ticking. Like
a...
There's a clock, but that's that.
Yeah, it sounded like it was close to you.
Just heard another noise coming from back in here.
Oh, God. What the hell was that?
The top of a lamp fell off.
Jesus. It's rocking as well.
Well, no, the front of it's just fallen off. The ball's going as well.
The ball's going.
The ball was just going there. No,
How?
forget that, Penny.
What?
See that lamp?
What lamp?
The one I'm pointing at.
That one?
The front of it's just fallen off onto the floor.
Oh
Just
my
fell off.
God, it's smashed and everything.
Oh, my God.
It really has. The ball is going off as well. Look. Look. It's in pieces. Oh my God, they'll not be happy with this.
We were nowhere near it.
It's broken, look.
How the hell? That must have been up there for years.
That is incredible. Look.
Did you catch any of it on camera?
Well, we heard the smash and I saw it rocking a bit.
Oh my!
How can that fall off there?
Look, it's swinging. It's moving. Of course it is.
God. I mean, that's unbelievable. No one can reach that.
It's moving. That is. What is going to be underneath this?
We were just underneath it.
Now, you cannot fake that. There's no one can reach that lamp up there. It's in the middle of the room. No, there's no way in the world anyone can reach it.
Is it plastic or plastic?
It's plastic. And it's just went and done that when we're here.
Should we tell the...
And it's in pieces, look. Look at this. It's in pieces. You'll not be happy with us.
Should we tell them? I mean, it's quite a big thing.
Yeah, but tell them afterwards because we want to continue with this. We don't want to get stopped.
I don't think you throw out, but
that is incredible. It's moving.
We weren't near.
The orbs here as well. That the ball went off as well, you know.
Did it?
The ball was going off as
yeah,
a walk.
I think part of it hit the chairs, they hit the table.
I cannot see any part across here, man.
No, it's quite far away. The camera's on that.
No, it's smashed here, Alan. All the bits are here, look.
All the bits are down there.
In fact, there's another bit there, look. All over here. That is incredible.
Look at this. Look. There's all the bits. Well, you've got it all on camera, Tony.
Wow.
There's all the bits.
Hasn't smashed any of the books or anything down there, has it?
No.
That is amazing.
That is crazy.
How can that?
It's still moving. How the hell? Well, as I say, Tony and I were up here.
Yeah, we were the other side. We were just down there, could have hit her. That is unbelievable. Look how far up that is.
Oh, put my camera up. There's also another thing moving, Tony.
There's the lamp.
Oh, yeah?
What's that?
What's that?
No idea.
There's the lamp there, up there, look. You can't get anywhere near it.
Can you see it? It's moving.
You never know who's going to call next.
Greatest hits radio.
You are with the big one now. Time for your first clue. You're going to get 4 clues. Now, if you've not played this competition before, it's a tricky little rascal, and I think you'll have fun with it because you've got to tell me whose hits. I'm going to give you 4 clues. Each clue is a song title of a hit, and you've got to tell me who had hits with them, whose hits, whose greatest hits, in fact. The first clue is this. Lots of tea in Cockney slang. Okay? Lots of tea in Cockney slang. Okay? If you know a Southern Jessie, this might be the time for you to reach out. What is lots of tea in Cockney slang? It's the name of a big song and a very successful song for this particular artist, band, trio, duo, choir, whoever it happens to be. You've got to tell me whose hits. That's your first clue. 3 more to come. And I've got a lot of messages coming in. We talked about hidden gems. Dean Hardy says, Merton Hardware. Proper people with all sorts of surprises to help folk out. Sounds smashing. And Andrew Telford, Emmaus on Low Fell and the Dotty House. Darren Hancock, Howden Metro when the last metro drops off. Scary. Jane Ellis, a ghost at the National Emergency Services Museum, West Bar in Sheffield. Kath Bussey, Fields Fish Shop in Eshwinning. They use coal burners. That's cool. Andrew Lowther, my hidden gem is more Alan Robson Night Owls needed. Thank you. Sarah Jane Bayes, Low Lights Tavern. Don't know if it's haunted, but they sell the best pies. Alan, get yourself along and try one. I will do that. But let's go and talk to Sharon in Walker. Hello, Sharon.
Hiya.
Hello, love. What you got for us
Hiya.
tonight? Then? Hello.
Hiya. No, I was just there was something popped up earlier about the most haunted places or whatever it was. Mary King's Close in Edinburgh.
Oh, right. Have you been?
Oh yes.
Yeah. How would it go for you?
I was freaked out.
When the lights go out, there's not a hint of light anywhere down there, is there?
No, it was really, really scary.
Yeah.
And then the Witchery.
Right. Yes.
Have you been in the Witchery by the castle?
Is that the restaurant, the Witchery?
Yeah, but have you been in the Secret Garden?
I haven't, but I've walked.
Oh,
I've
you gotta go.
I walked past it, then I saw the prices, and I kept walking.
No.
For
But
the
if you
restaurant.
do the ghost hunt down the stair, oh yeah, the restaurant's very expensive.
Yeah.
But if you go into the Secret Garden, it's really, really spooky.
Right. Oh, I'll have to do that. I didn't realize
Yeah,
you
you
could.
have to.
Without,
Yeah, you
without
can
having
do.
to buy. Right.
No. He does a ghost hunt in the Secret Garden, which was the old schoolyard.
Oh, right. I see. Oh, I'll have to go back there
Um,
because Edinburgh's lovely. I gather you've got a bit of a spooky story about Edinburgh Castle. Is that right?
No, it was Chillingham Castle actually.
Oh, Chillingham. Oh, what about Chile then?
Chillingham Castle was very spooky.
Absolutely.
We went. There was 9 or 10 of us, and we went for my birthday. And I was freaked out big time. We were in the top floor, overlooking the gardens.
Right.
At the back, and then you have to come down the spiral stair.
Yes, because you're in a tower. You're like
Yes, I was
tower
in the
rooms.
tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went down on my own because nobody else would go. Then we went on the ghost walk.
Right.
Into the woody bits.
Uh-huh.
Jesus God. You know, when you pee yourself, I peed myself.
Oh, wow.
I was scared. Very, very scared.
Yeah.
Very scared. But yeah, I'm a non-believer, but I'm a believer, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you just haven't seen anything yet. I think that's where you're at.
I kind of did at Chillingham.
Oh, what was that then?
It was when we went into oh God, can't remember the name of the room.
It doesn't matter. Describe it to me and I'll tell you what it's called.
It was, oh God.
Is it the one with the dungeon in it, the oubliette?
Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes. It was goosebumps and just cold, and I felt sick. I really, really, really felt sick.
Did you go into the little tiny cell?
Not on my own, no.
Right.
We also done one at Newcastle. You know that one in Newcastle and
The actual castle, the Newcastle.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And my friend, she felt like somebody was grabbing her throat, and she was physically sick.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really sick. And she's a non-believer of anything. And she was physically sick.
How did she explain the throat grabbing if she doesn't believe it?
When we left at 4:00 in the morning, she believed.
Yeah.
But when we first went in, we were like, yeah, whatever. But she came out and she was like, she never ever felt anything like it.
Wow.
And then that's why we went up to Edinburgh to Mary King's Close, and we done the witchery one as well. And yeah, we've done loads.
It's just
once
you
she
get
was a non-believer.
Once you get a glimpse of anything, though, or something touches you, I think you become fascinated with it, and you just want to do more.
I do, but they don't.
Right. Yeah, they've had enough of it. I think they just got
They've had enough of it.
I think maybe they just got a big shock because they didn't think there was anything out there.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, it was Mary King's Close.
Right.
It was, there's so many different, I mean, I was born and bred in Edinburgh.
Right.
And I moved down here when I was 30.
Mm-hmm.
And when you live in a certain city or a town or whatever, and you take things for granted, and it's not until you actually go back and you start exploring things.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I started taking my sons, and that's when I started feeling things and going, and exploring your actual place where you live.
I think that's the thing we're worst at, We go visiting everywhere else except where we live, and there's things on our own doorstep that we haven't come across yet, and it's a shame.
I think you take it for granted.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
Like a place like Edinburgh, it has got a lot of history.
Mm-hmm.
And because when you lived there for so long, you just took it for granted, and you didn't explore it because you lived there.
Mm.
And then when I moved down here, then I explored certain things. And then when I went back up to Edinburgh, then you dig deeper because you took them things for granted.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. Hey, well, thanks for coming on, Sharon. Lovely
Thank
to hear
you.
from you. Thank you for calling. How about that? The Witchery. Now, if you go online and check out the Witchery, it looks an amazing restaurant, and they've done a great job to make it even far beyond a Harry Potter kind of castle. Do you know what I mean? They've really gone the extra yard, and it's a posh nosh. If you're going to go, it'll cost you a few bob. Maybe worth it. Haven't tried it. If you have, let me know. 0191 488 3188. Claire Litbell says, no hidden gems in Selby, North Yorkshire. The Vikings named it Sail By. Don't stay there, just sail by. Besides, it's not a gem if it's not from the northeast, you see. Steve Young would love to do a ghost hunt. Mark Watts, my hidden gem, as not a lot of people see it, is at the top of our stairs. Not sure what that is, possibly an inflatable woman. And Mark Richardson says, Walker Graveyard is very haunted, and Walker Park, lots of history there. And Gillian Armstrong, I and many folk work for a company that's coming to an end. Shade, SHAID. It's a charity that helped so many homeless and vulnerable kids have a home and got them on track to find their feet and move on to the next step for independent living. We're coming to an end because we got no support and we haven't got a management team that can help us. That's awful to hear that, because that's exactly what we need in this day and age. And Sue in Washington is in pain at the present moment. She says she's got nerve pain. As soon as she puts her foot on the floor, the pain's really intense. She's seeing a doctor tomorrow for stronger meds, MRIs, x-rays, that kind of stuff, and a spinal surgeon. All I know is I can't go on like this. It's affecting my life, my mental health. I'm taking a battering, pain, depressed, grieving. If I can't get any joy tomorrow, I don't know what I'll do. Do any of the night owls have any ideas how to help with nerve pain? Isn't that what everybody used to call neuralgia? Can anybody help? If you can, you got any suggestions, give us a ring. 0191 488 3188 or WhatsApp us with a little message. 07863 431 837. David's with us in Jarrow. Hello, David.
Hi, Alan, you all right?
Yes, I'm good, mate. What you got for me?
It's just about the ghost hunt at the Littonfill.
Right, yes.
Now, I don't know if it was coincidence or something you said had tempted fate, but if you cast your mind back to the blow,
yes,
can you remember the first clue that you give out?
Remind me.
A light bulb moment.
A light bulb, my good gracious, that's right.
And look what's happened, yeah.
And of course, the light bulb moment was about William Swan, who invented the light bulb, who was a member there, and his light bulb's on display there.
Yeah.
A light bulb moment in Hell's Teeth. Isn't that weird? That is the weirdest thing.
It just come to us before, and I thought, whoa. So you ought to blame?
Yeah. And do you know, I'm stupidly, I never put two and two together there, David. But you're absolutely right. That was the very first clue. Whoa. Hey, that is something. We're trying to get hold of the CCTV footage, but, you know, Murphy's Law, when you need it and really want it, well, it is there, but the woman who is the only one talented enough to get it off to send it to us is on holiday till next week. So we'll have it in the next week or so, but I want to see it now, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Hey, but thanks for that, though, because I never thought of it. Thank you.
It's like the bloke says, though, when he come back in.
Yes.
And he says the only time it had been touched was a year ago.
Yeah.
To change the bulb, so it's had a year to come down, if it was going to come down, you know.
And also, he was explaining that you have to get somebody to go out onto the roof.
Yeah, to crank it.
To crank it down to the floor, you change the bulb, then the guy on the roof presumably cranks it back up into place again.
Yeah.
So amazing. But light bulb moment, of course. Tempting providence, you call that, don't you?
And the other thing was when he's had the SLS out.
Yes.
And the SLS mapped that figure of a child.
Yes, around the table at the top. Yes.
Yeah, I was watching it and I thought, sometimes you've got to be careful with them things because it can map chair legs and things like that.
Sure.
But then you got the dowsing rods out.
Yeah.
And that's when it all become clear, the little girl and everything, and the voices on the necromancer and everything. So I think you were bang on there, like.
Well, thank you, mate. The thing with the stories of the place are all about grown-ups.
Yeah.
Everything's about grown-up. Nobody at any point, as far as I can tell, even other ghost groups that have been, nobody's ever mentioned a small child. And yet that certainly the image, because it wasn't just like we went right around the table and whatever was there was happening. And then it would disappear and then it came back again. So if
mischievous,
it was an amazing capture. But
when she was talking to you with the rods,
you've blown my mind with that clue that I gave, because of course it was.
Well, at first when you said light bulb moment, and then you said no point.
Yes.
For the second clue, me and Julie thought suit a lighthouse. We thought we had it, you know, but we're not that clever. We got it wrong.
Right.
But I just come to us. I thought Alan's first clue was light bulb moment, and then that light blue come down.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
But everything you got, like, I think was like more or less bang on. Because when I heard it all crashing down and everything, I thought it was Kenny.
Right.
because he's
because he's
yeah. But,
Do you know
well, when he's
when we first went in though, David, you look around and there's a statue here and there's
that's what exactly what I thought. I thought Kenny and statues. Oh no.
Yeah, but he wasn't even in that whole area. He had to come from another room, and you saw his torch coming through when he came through. But I saw the light. I saw it. You know, the chances of it happening if it was random is a million to one. But to be able to say that you stood there and actually watched it happen, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it dislodge, and I saw it almost in, you know, that when you're
slow
driving
motion
the slow
thing,
motion kind of thing. I saw it fall to the floor, and then it went boom, and the pair of us both kind of jumped and reacted to it. And I'm thinking, well, first thing I thought was, have we knocked something really expensive?
Yeah.
Are we going to have to stump up for it? That was our first thought. But after we got that, the whole atmosphere changed as well.
I noticed, the whole mood changed. It was like, whoa, that was big, you know.
It was comfy and it was warm, and that's a rarity for where we go. And we were enjoying all of that, and we were getting the odd tweak here and there, and nothing particularly massive.
Yeah.
But that was massive. That was absolutely massive.
It was. I would have been out me, like.
we were just, you know, that when you see something unbelievable, whenever you watch it, when you watch telly and you see, you know, that there's somebody robs a bank in front of everybody and everybody runs. I don't think you do. I think you kind of go, because that's what I do, and that would probably get me shot under the circumstances. But I was just staring at it, and then because it was moving just a little bit, and you're thinking, what has just happened? How could that have occurred? Because it's had all of those years, you know, to do its thing.
Decades, and
amazing. But it wasn't.
You and Tony went really quiet. You changed completely.
Yeah. Because the mood went from comfortable to edgy, and you've been on ghost hunts, David. You know when there's a complete. It's almost like the entire mood just tips upside down.
Changes, yeah.
You've been in that kind of situation, and when it happens, you know it. You absolutely know it.
Especially like when you replay things like video or EVP and everything, you don't hear or see anything, and then you replay it and you hear it or you see it and you think, "Whoa,
what the hell was that?" And also the thing that always annoys me, and I know if people are supporters, we get because you're thankfully with us, we get the blur on the Tuesday where we go over everything with like a fine tooth comb and give people a chance to chat to us and what have you. When we are doing the blur, it's very comfortable. Yet I know for a fact when I talk about it, that all the hair on the back of my neck's going to go up, because it was one of those rare moments where something happens that's so completely unexpected.
And sometimes you go, you know, you go and you don't get a coconut, and then the next time you go and you get something massive like that, and
I don't know what I expected from the place. I'd heard. Whenever you think libraries and ghosts, I always remember that scene from the first Ghostbusters film. If you remember, there was a ghost looking through the thing and it turns around and goes, ah! So I don't even know what I expected, because it's a beautiful room, a lot of obviously great books and great art in and around the place. So you think, are you going to get anything? There's people in here every day. And yet there's enough stories, even from the people that work there, to intrigue you. But no, thank you for that. I've got a little note saying, ask him about the new app. What's that all about, dear?
The new app? Oh, yeah. I mentioned it on the blog the other day. It's called Ghost Tube.
I've had a look for it. It's not on my phone for some reason. Hang on a second. Tony's screaming at me saying, that's what we use. That's the SLS.
Yeah, but there's another one with it as well, which is the voice one.
Ah, right.
It's not the SLS one, it's a voice one.
Right.
I think it's called Ghost Tube Vox or something like that.
Ghost Tube Vox.
And it works like Ovulus.
All right. Oh, I see.
And it puts the words up on the screen. It uses like a database dictionary and that. And
right. And the words are on the screen.
Yeah, it uses the magnometers in the phone or something like that.
Right.
For the energies to
show themselves.
Produce the
Gotcha.
But, just the last caller on there as well about Edinburgh.
Yes.
Me and Julie like to go to Edinburgh every Christmas, but with the COVID and that, we haven't been able to do it.
Yeah.
And we always go on the ghost hunts when we're there.
Right.
And one of the most eeriest places was Greyfriars Churchyard.
And the Covenanters Cemetery on the side of it as well.
Yeah, that you can't get into that though because it's locked.
Yeah, but there is special tours apparently that you can go on because an exorcist was killed by something up there.
Yeah,
so that's why they've locked it off and they just do special tours now.
Yeah, see, we don't like to do the touristy bit. We like to do it ourselves, you know.
I understand.
It's cheaper.
Absolutely, and I think it's more fun than
it is.
20 or 30 people. Absolutely. Hey,
but the scariest part was the Mackenzie poltergeist tomb bit.
Yes. Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's extreme. It's one of the more
it is. You can feel it when you walk up to it.
100%. Sharon Paranormal. David, thank you very much. Top call.
No problem, Alan.
Lovely to hear from you. Thanks, man.
Thanks, mate. Bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye. He's a superstar, David. And how come we didn't think of that? My first clue, a light bulb moment. And a light bulb crack. Not just a light bulb. This is a light, is huge, drum-sized light thing just came down. Amazing. 0191 488 3188. As soon as we get footage of it, we'll show you it. Okay, we should get it within the next week or so. Fingers crossed. Time for a piece of music. Let's have it. And in this case, it's Alexander O'Neill. And I asked him about what he's frightened of. Big, roughy, tufty soul singer that he is.
What are you frightened of? You got any irrational fears?
What scares me the most is me leaving this earth and not have being the best Alex that I could be, not having fulfilled the things that God has placed for me to do.
Right.
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
And so that scares me sometimes because I fall short and I try to be the best. So therefore I just try to be the best person that I can be each and every day, to try to just stay on that, because that concerns me more so now, my relationship with God and trying to be the best person, trying to hopefully get past any vice, anything that I got going that would stop me from being the best person I can be.
Well, that sounds great, but it also makes me wonder, if you're this worried about it, you must have been a bit of a bad lad earlier on in your life, eh?
Well, it's not a worry. It's not something that I'm obsessed with, you know. I mean, I live each day for itself. I don't, yesterday's gone. I don't deal with yesterdays, and I don't deal with too many tomorrows, you know.
Right.
I try to stay in the moment. But before, I used to live like that, you know, living yesterdays, living tomorrows, and stuff like that. Now, it's just one day at a time.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm worried about it, but, you know, I mean, I have the thing that it's not that I've been such a bad person. It's I've been a squanderer. Okay.
Right.
And I haven't done a lot of things that I probably should have done in my life and in my career, because back in the day, I lived like every night. My motto was every night is Saturday night. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the way I tried to live.
Uh-huh.
But now, look, I have to grow up sometime. When I grow up, I want to be just like you, Alan. Okay. Just like you.
Well, that's good. Bless you. Thank you very much.
That just doesn't happen, though, does it?
Not that.
Not when we just happen to be here like that. That is just, whoa, man.
God.
Now I'm scared.
How the hell?
That could hurt.
That would hurt. Look at that's got that one on, so keep out of underneath that one in case that one falls off as well.
Oh, don't do that. I can't believe that's happened. I am actually. It's one of them where you're like speechless and you think.
I know, especially being up here. It's a long way down.
It got real pretty quick there, didn't it?
Really quick.
That was a sign that someone's here.
Well, definitely, because that just doesn't happen. How often would that happen? the middle glass fall down the lamp that's in the middle of the ceiling.
I saw it and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because obviously we're so far away. It just...
Is that just the same as the one here?
It's got to be a sign of something. Because that must have been up there for decades.
Oh, yeah. It looks like 40s, 50s, 60s, late, doesn't it? Doesn't look modern remotely.
That is absolutely. What was that?
You hear that too?
Uh-huh.
What?
We've got the big mic on the HD camera, so that picks up everything.
And all the things we've done, I think that's the most incredible thing that's happened.
But I saw it.
Right,
I don't know whether Tony, you...
I was just on the top step and I heard a bang. I heard the bang.
I saw the thing. It just...
So I was coming up those steps there.
That's the most
It
incredible thing.
makes me just want to keep the camera on this one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to wait. Can't go up there.
Yeah, of course you can.
It's a light again?
What?
That came from the light?
It's the light again.
You stay away from there, can you? The whole thing might come down.
It's lit. The light's on.
What?
Can't be lit.
Is it?
No.
No, that's a reflection of this light, I think.
Oh, is it?
Oh, God.
That was the light though, wasn't it?
Okay.
It just made that banging noise again.
Let's not be scared.
No, I'm not scared. I'm just... I know, but I feel sorry for the...
That thing's moving again in the middle.
But that's just a piece of thingy, you know.
It's a moving piece of
It is moving. Could the wind do that?
There's no wind in here.
The fact that the light thing fell, secondly, the fact that it's making noises.
This is how far away we are from it, as you can see. What, is that about 30 feet from here?
That's a long...
It's about 30 feet from here, so obviously impossible
Long way
to be
down.
anywhere near to touch that. And yet that there has just crashed down and smashed while we are here. I don't get it. I just see a white thing there just go along. Did you see that?
That is absolutely incredible. That's the most genuine sign of anything that I've seen.
It's a sign someone's letting me know they're here or something.
Like I say, that cannot be fake. No one can touch that. No one can pull it down. No one can set that up. It's just happened.
God.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm just here to... How do you explain that for a second?
The fact that it's been up for that many years and it's just come down for us.
And when I came around here, I heard like a little metallic click noise. And a bit earlier, I heard almost the sound of like that, like a chair moving.
Well, good job we've got the camera set up and the EVP recorder just down that
the
area.
camera down there might have caught...
No, it's pointing the table with Gwen and Ted on, but it might have caught something.
It occurred then, do you get noise with it or not?
I've got the VVP recorder recording, so that's noise. Yeah.
That would have heard the...
Yeah. God.
Whatever did that, do you want us here or not? Whatever did that with the lamp, we are now all feeling uncomfortable. If that was you, let us know. Make it, don't damage anything but make a noise. Let yourself be known. If that was you,
I'm just thinking, the camera on Ted and Thingy captured the ball going off. It might have actually caught a bit of that, you know?
Yeah, it'll definitely have caught the sound as well.
The sound, definitely.
Who knows? Well, that's going to just record all night now, as long as it runs out.
So that would have definitely caught that.
I just couldn't believe what I'd
The
seen.
noise of it.
That thing's going crazy up there, man.
There's no wind in here. There's no windows open.
Just thinking, we've got security cameras in there, haven't we? That would have caught that.
Yeah.
We need to get a copy of that if we can.
Can you see if you can get that, Tony, tomorrow?
Is that the security camera there?
Don't know if they'll be pointing on the.
Yeah, so I'll look at everything.
But will that get it? Will it be dark?
Very true.
Where is it?
So what time is it? That went off?
You sure that's a camera?
I think so.
I've just seen a white thing. It went like that, then went like that. Just a little white light thing. Just went like that, then went back again. Oh, probably caught on this camera.
Just sort of noise from down below.
Did you hear like a...
Did that like a noise from over here? Am I on now?
I'm just going to go away from you. I can't check until I'm away, so I'll go around here, and then you should be on. I've reset everything. Please let me know if you can hear Alan.
Right, please, if you can, we've got stories to tell. That's amazing. But there is a camera here. I think it's a camera, Tony. Can you hear me?
Someone said that's better, so I think we can.
That's good. Let me just tell you about the Earls who used to live here before this amazing place was built. It was a grand house. A huge grand house. The Earl of Westmoreland, or the Earls, in fact, half a dozen of them. And back in the middle 1600s, up at the Groat Market, which is the one that runs parallel with the big market.
0191 488 3188.
This is Night Owls.
Greatest hits radio.
And thank you very much for all of your texts, your tweets, your emails, all of that kind of stuff. We're very, very grateful. I've been sent a picture. Tony says that he can put this on screen. There is a phrase that comes with it. Hope you like this sketch. What is there to like about Southampton? It's warmer than up north. My son Carl is fascinated with the Geordie accent, says Mark. Now, while you're waiting for just have a look at that. That's pretty cool. Picture of me with an owl if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook. For those of you at home, it's just a canny sketch of what I actually look like. And I've got an owl sitting on my shoulder. So that's pretty cool. So thank you very much, Mark, for that. That is something I will definitely keep. 0191 488 3188. My next caller in is Sarah from Wallsend. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Alan. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm good, Alan. Thank you. What are you talking about with the people?
So we were talking about the hidden gems.
Yes.
And we like to go to a little pub in North Shield Fishkey called the Lowlights Tavern.
Lowlights Tavern, yes. Did you send an email in? I think, or a text rather.
It was on Facebook.
Facebook, right.
Yeah,
no, I saw
I think
that. Tell us about it, because this is the pie capital of the world, apparently.
Oh, they make the most amazing pies. You have to get yourself down to try one, Alan.
I will, because it's again, North Shields, I think, years ago it had stigma attached to it in every direction, like most parts of the Northeast, in fairness. Yeah. But in the last few years, it's really, I think it's really improved. There's still bits of the town that I think need a bit of a tweak here and there. But along the coastal bits, brilliant. I love it up there. I love it up there. So the fish key, you say, is a hidden gem. Is it just for the pub and the pies, or is there more to it?
Well, so when we've been in, we've met a lovely bunch of people they run the North Shield Heritage Fishermen's Project.
Right.
And they're they're all about the history of the fishing and the fish key. And these are families and their parents and their grandparents have all been fishermen. And at the minute, they're raising money to build a herring girl statue to promote the jobs that the herring girls used to do.
Right.
So obviously they're all that's where they meet. That's where they have their meetings. They had an auction a few weeks ago, raised a significant amount of money. They still do need some more.
Right.
So if anyone wants to donate, North Shields Heritage Fishermen's Project, you can find that on Facebook. But yeah, and it's just an amazing little pub and a little. I don't know, Sam Fender. He's up and coming at the moment. He's everywhere basically, isn't he?
Absolutely.
He started out in Lowlights Tavern.
Right. How about that?
So that's where he came from. And Cameron and Danny, who run it now, they're just brilliant.
Great.
They're amazing. You'll be well looked after if you do go there.
The Lowlights Tavern.
Lowlights Tavern.
Make sure you get there in Shields. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Great talking to
You're
you,
very
Sarah.
welcome. Bye.
Thanks, darling. Bye-bye. Lowlights Tavern. Okay, get yourself down to North Shields and check it out. The beginnings of the Sam Fender career there as well, which is a cool thing. 01914 488 3188. Lots to talk about. But I think we're going to take a very, very quick break. Is that correct? We do. So again, sorry about this, but we're going to sell some stuff.
Great.
Trying to hide, and the place that he came to hide was the garden of this house, not the lit fill, but the house that was here where the lit fill was. This is actually part of the garden of it at the time. He hid in the garden, and unbeknown to him, the Earl of Westmoreland saw that he had somebody in his private property, so he released the dogs, and the dogs got at him and they tore him to bits. Didn't kill him, and he was dragged off to the castle for punishment. They stuck him in the cells, presumably as a nod to the Earl. And the Earl demanded that he be hanged, not just for the murder, but he dared go onto the territory, the land belonging to the Earl of Westmoreland. Didn't have time to get hanged. The dogs had done so much damage that they didn't need to hang him. He died, and they just dumped his body in the river. So, tough times, harsh times. And also, I know how much you like your local history. Groat Market. Do you know why it's called the Groat Market? A lot of people say, oh, because groats was the currency then. No, that's not it. A groat was a type of cornmeal, and it was like grits in America, the grit market, the groat market. It was a type of grits. The big market, remember that it goes like that. The groat market's on one side, the big market's on the other. Why do they call it the big market? Was it because there was a big market? Well, yes, there was a big market, but big, B-I-G-G, is a type of roast barley that was sold on stalls, grits in the groat market, big barley in the big market. And it was a kind of slop, but it was like the Scots were raised on porridge, which is oats. In the north, we lived on grits, groat, and big. And it could keep poor families reasonably well fed. That's the story of this place. But we haven't been. I just got a noise again. I hesitate to look at these now, you know. This place is spooky. It's a lovely, lovely atmosphere, but didn't the mood change? Like, Kenny's up here, I think. What's up here, man?
So, you know, a little room with music and got turntables and stuff.
Music
like that.
room, yeah.
Yeah, we've got old turntables.
Brilliant. Oh wow, it's cool. And the techniques.
Yeah. Well then,
Looks like you get techniques. I can spot me techniques, wow. I'm a pro.
More techniques.
Yeah. Now the music room they've had, this is the place. You know the doors that opened on their own? Jeez. These are the doors that opened on their own, and they were all sitting around a table, the ghost hunters. And the story was told of Kincaid. Now, Kincaid was a a witch pricker and a faker, and he had this needle that was retractable. You know, like the old when we were playing nights and round table, you can stab people,
And it would go in. Yeah.
It would go into the hilt.
Yeah.
He had a needle.
Alan Robson's Night Owls.
The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Alan Robson with you. Spread the word of the owl as always, but the most important people, that's you. Let's get as many of you on as we possibly can. This is Anne, and she's in Sunderland. Hello, Anne. Try again. Hello, Anne.
How are you? On the 12th of March.
There you are. Right.
Well, now you'll remember, this is my second one.
Yes.
And yeah, the fire brigade was saying to us, mate, you at the door, know you're poorly, but be careful.
Right.
Bloody blast. When I get to the door, I'm trying to struggle to get the dog out. And anyhow, with her barking, my neighbour heard her.
Right.
And she sent her two grandsons out, which was visiting at the time.
Right.
And she says, now bring Anne along. And by this time, the fire engines had pulled up, carried the dog in the fire engine, and the neighbour was putting the blankets around us and that, and making us cups of tea and that. So I'm saying, me dog, I was screaming. So anyhow, my neighbour says, she's all right, she's in the fire engine. So anyhow, when the paramedics turned up and examined me, he says, Pet, with the dog now being, not letting us near you, he says, we'll put her in there right the road.
Right.
So anyhow, when they managed to get the fire all out and that, our grandsons brought us back home with me carer. And well, I was wondering, Alan, have you any idea where I can get two certificates done for the two boys who helped? Because the nana says, no, I don't want them to have any money or anything, And that was the only thing I could think of, getting them like a certificate.
Like My Hero Award kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know the probably the easiest way? Do you know anybody that's online? That goes on the telephone, on Facebook, or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't, because if you've got any family that do, or maybe there's somebody listening that could create a hero award, because you need two of them, one for each lad, with both of them with their names on, obviously. Thank you very much for saving me and my dog from the fire on whatever the date of it and everything. So that's the kind. You see, people would be able to make a certificate.
So would you ask anybody if they can do that?
Well, we're doing that right now. So, Chris, have a listen next door. Chris, watch out. Is there anybody capable of creating a local hero award ×2 for these two young men who helped Anne out of her house fire? If anybody gets in touch, Anne, we'll give you a call back and hook you up. Okay?
Well, I mean, there's my second dog. It was the dog that saved my life the last time.
What started the fire, Anne, though, this time round? What happened?
Naughty, I know. But my son is supposed to tidy the house up,
Right.
And he piles all my books, because I've got diaries and what have you.
Right.
He piles all my books underneath the table.
Right.
So I had my last cigarette before I went to bed, and I have one of those ashtrays I had, but I was getting rid of it. I had one of those ashtrays where you press the top.
And it goes and sucks all your bits in.
Yes.
Yes.
When that happens, I pick it up to make sure it's in the ashtray, if it's hot,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's cold. He was gone while I was panicking like mad.
Right.
Anyhow, like I said, the dog sniffing under the table to show us where it was.
Right.
Put my hand right on it.
Right. So but it set a book on fire, did it? And that took it off from there.
The books, I mean,
All the books.
my shopping lists and everything.
Right.
So when my son came, he says, I didn't do it. I says, no, you didn't. I mean, my main books I keep on the bed, but he'd moved them because he'd made changed the bed.
Right.
Put them all under the table.
Yeah. Oh, blimey. So, I mean, is the house badly damaged?
All it was under the table, you know, the carpet, big carpet, because when I put my hand on it, you know, I had cold tea in the cup and I just flung it over.
Right, try and put it out. I mean, is the carpet need replacing, or is there a chair you can hire over the hole?
Oh, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, you see the table height, really.
Right.
And then I keep stuff under. Wait, there's me box with like me powder, you know, talcum powder and what have you.
Yeah.
There, so. And then I've had telecare and the social worker and them.
Right.
They're going for another alarming.
Right. Yeah, well, sounds like you need it. That's your second fire, for heaven's sake. You're going to have to be really careful, Anne.
But I mean, the first one, Alan, I got 80% burns.
I know, I remember.
The paramedic says, you don't want to go down the hospital. I says, hey, mate, you stay in the state of my body, you wouldn't be complaining about the daft dance burn.
Right, no. It's still a narrow escape, Anne, all the same.
I mean, I'm still here.
Yeah, you are. Well, I tell you what, we'll keep looking. We'll see if we can find anybody that can make you, because you can go online and get templates for this kind of stuff. So people that are a bit more competent on their telephone might just, or a computer would be able to knock one of those up. If we get anybody ringing in, we'll give you a call straight back, Anne, okay?
Thanks very much, Alan.
You're welcome, and we're glad you're still with us. Cheers. Fire's a scary damn thing. So 01914 3188. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Alan Robson with you, the Night Owls. And Evan is with us from Ellington. Hi, Evan.
Hello.
Hello. What are you talking about tonight then, Evan?
The coronavirus.
Uh-huh.
The coronavirus is going down.
Well, it is in some places. Apparently, in the northeast, it's going up in others. But has it hit you at all? Did you catch it?
No, because I've got 3 jobs now.
All right. So you're boosted and you're in good shape. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Can I have a badge, please?
Can you have a badge? Well, we don't give badges away, but we do have a Night Owls mug that we're going to be sharing with you a little bit later on. So you can have a crack for that. Have a try for it, Evan. Thank you. So there you go, Evan in Ellington. 0191 488 3188. Oh, they're rare as hen's teeth, the Night Owl badges. Unless you join us, of course, then you get one. 0191 488 3188. 3 more clues to come. The first clue is lots of tea and Cockney slang, and most of you haven't got it. And by the sound of things, you're not going to get it anytime soon either. But the other 3 clues are easier. You'll work it out. Anyway, let's talk to another of the stars that come out at night on the Night Owls. This time, it's Foreigner talking about a spooky experience.
Have either of you ever seen a ghost, had a strange spooky experience of any kind?
I had a strange experience once. I was at a soccer game, or that's what we call it in America, football game.
Yeah.
And I was watching, I was there with a bunch of people, and my friends were playing, and I was laying on my back, looking up at the sky. Obviously, the game was not exciting enough to keep me occupied. So I was looking up in the sky, and I was the only one laying down looking up, and I looked up, and there was this spinning object that was really far up in the sky. And it looked like it was a kind of square, shiny, chrome-shaped object, and all it did was stay in one spot and just spin around and spin around and spin around. And I was enthralled, and I watched it for minutes on end. It never moved. I never could explain it, and that always made me wonder.
Right, okay.
I've seen a few UFOs.
Yeah.
Definitely, or sightings, unusual stuff. And I was way in the middle of the jungle in the Amazon once, and staying at this sort of missionary area where they had these nuns, and we were talking about it over dinner one night, and I asked them, because it's renowned in that area that they do have a lot of these objects, and they said. So I was trying to explain. They only spoke Portuguese, but somebody kind of translated it, and so I said, "Do you ever see anything in the sky? Unusual?" And they said, "What you mean? Those kind of things that come, the big lights, and then they hover, and then they, and they disappear." Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
It's kind of
and apparently, this was happened all the time. Just very bizarre happenings,
No mark.
Right.
And they were a witch. So he had this thing that it had pushed in, and he went, there. And there's not a mark. And everybody went, she's a witch. And it said that for whatever reason, he came through here in this room and opened those doors behind us. If there's any sign of...
What was that?
Yeah, they click it.
Yeah. I was like, and again.
If there's any sign of you, make some noise. If there's any sign, Kincaid.
There's a few people saying they can't hear, but I've reset it. There's nothing I can do now. I've reset it twice now, so I don't know what's going on with the mics. It should be working.
You've got another mic, haven't you? Do you want to change it or not?
No, they're both on.
All right. I haven't got mic, remember?
It's just Alan that they can't hear, but
Yeah, but you've got one of them, haven't you?
Shall I swap them round?
try that. But I mean, if one's working, the other should.
Because we don't want to miss anything in here, because you can see it's crazy.
There you go, mate.
Yeah, I know the recording, everything's going to be on it. It's just that live, so.
Right. It's the live mics. Right. Hopefully you've got me now. I think I'm going to go down. Have you been downstairs yet into the...
I've had a quick walk down there. In the bottom part, it feels really weird. It's cold in there.
Because I'm tempted to ask you to do a full walk around the top level.
Right. Cool.
Both ends. It's like a figure eight.
I'll do it.
I'm going to go down to the basement now.
I'll do it at the top and at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's clear, so.
Sorry?
People are saying it's clear. Yay. But don't worry, on the recording.
On the recording, you'll hear everything.
You'll hear everything. But yep, fine now.
But if there is anything, Kincaid, if you're here, it was the music room where you made an appearance. Make a noise, show us something, do something. Move something. Not a light.
No.
See, these lights have no fascias on them. Don't know whether you've noticed. This is crazy. And don't forget, if you guys see something, if you can screenshot something, if you catch something around here, make sure you send it in for our Blah on Tuesday. We talk live to everybody. And make sure you share. And if you do, you can get yourself one of our fab little Night Owls badges. Share as much as you can. Spread the word for us. Because we would, we'd love to grow our numbers so we can get even further afield. I love the old kit. Used to have two of them. Take this little decks. Yes.
Oh, look. What? There is a camera, so it should have caught the thing come down. There's the cameras there.
Check the mirror, Tony. Couple of mirrors, it's a mirror there. Check it out. What's your name? What's your name? Let's get down. Noises everywhere. In 1591.
This is Night Owls on Greatest Hits Radio.
You never know who's going to call next.
0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Well, we promised you a second clue. Here it is. Get ready. Now, remember, every clue is a song title. You've got to work out what the song titles are. When you've got 4 of them, tell me whose hits, who had a hit with those 4 tracks. The first clue, lots of tea in Cockney slang. Clue 2, if the lightning doesn't hit you, but the noise with it does. Okay? If the lightning doesn't hit you, but the noise with it does. 2 song titles down, 2 more to come. Have you worked it out yet? Right. We've also got a few more. We said if every song was made in the Northeast, what would they be called? We've got a few more. God Only Nas was the one we started with. That's come back in again. Anyone who had a Hartlepool, in Sam Fender's song, instead of Spit of You, Hockle of You, of course. Groping in the back row of the Odeon on a Saturday night. Instead of My Girl, Wallace. Flat Cap Turns on the Water. CCS, playing what a song that was. Instead of I'm so tired of being alone, I'm knackered about being on me Todd. There you go. Tyne Bridge over troubled waters. Snog on the Tyne. Summick tells us I'm into Summick canny. Something tells me I'm into something good. Herman's Hermits, I think you remember. 0191 488 3188. And we've been asking you to ring in about hidden gems, something near where you live that most people don't know about. Can be a shop, can be a pub, can be a barber's, can be a chippy, can be a takeaway, whatever. Or it can be a monument. It can be a place where people go walking. Just tell me the hidden gems where you live. Now, sometimes it can be just a really good service station.
And I'm just serving this customer at the moment. I'm being held prisoner in... you realise I'm on national radio at the moment? Yes. No, a packet of Smarties. And what else do you want? Packet of Skips. And a Snickers. Did you get that, Alan?
Yes, packet of Snickers, got it.
Smarties.
Smarties, Snickers. And I didn't get the one in the middle. I didn't understand. It was Skips, was it?
Skips, yeah.
What are Skips, like crisps?
Sort of things,
So,
yeah.
all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't find the Smarties, though.
Try and talk them into some Revels then. Go on, because you'll have them.
Oh, I've got a big packet of Rebels.
There you are.
I've got to try and talk you into some Rebels because I've got no Smarties. What station you on? I'm on Metro Radio, the only station. Yeah, Rebels. We're rebelling away, yeah. Rebels. A Rebels, large packet.
There you go. You see, got your bigger sale there. Yeah, upgraded. Mind you, we talk about ghosts a lot. There are other things out there. Like in the Lake District, did you know they had their own Yeti? Go to a dark part of the lake, right, around the edge.
There's loads of places right round.
There's lots of dark little nooks and crannies. And what you're going to do is get into a dark one. They've got to strip you off, Frank, and put peanut butter around your privates.
Yeah, I'm not going to let them do that.
Well, if you lie there, you see that the Bigfoot's apparently attracted to the smell of peanut butter.
So I made all that's one thing I didn't bring. They need peanut butter.
Ah, come on, Frank. I thought you were prepared. And then in Gosforth, they've got big cats.
I had an old woman. She was coming up from the Marriott Hotel way.
Right.
And she approached us and she said, "Do you know that there's a black cat that roams the area?" Me straight away, I thought, well, I've never seen anything like that.
No.
I thought nothing of it. And about 3 or 4 weeks later, another person approached us and said, "I've just seen either a big black dog or a big black cat run across a field." And I says, "Well, we do get a lot of deers in the park and that,
Yeah, late at night, could you not mistake something that size for being a cat or a dog, I suppose? Yeah.
So I thought nothing to it. And then I listened to your show. I think it was a Saturday night when you were telling your ghost stories. You actually mentioned about the black cat.
Did, yes, that's right.
Well, all the doors of my vehicle were locked. I tell you now, I wish I'd never listened to that show.
And then, of course, there is a thing known as a yowie. What the hell's a yowie then?
Well, it's a bit like a Yeti or a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, though often they're described as a bit smaller.
Right.
And the one I witnessed, if I did witness it, would have been the size, say, of a large gibbon or maybe an orangutan.
Right.
And I was walking along a wooded hillside in Blackwood in Victoria, Australia, in 1996, and I heard a crashing of undergrowth, and I looked up to the side, and I saw what was either a yowie or a very agile child wearing all brown, swinging between some high trees on creepers, and then missing his swing or her swing and falling a long way into the undergrowth, but no cry of alarm.
That wasn't a human being. That was some kind of monkey-like something.
Well, if it was a human, it was aged about 10 and extremely agile and not afraid of heights.
Right.
And there was a big crash when it landed, but there was no cry of pain or alarm.
So it landed the way that it lands, and it just got on with whatever.
And then it crashed off through the undergrowth. Unfortunately, I have no other witnesses.
No.
I'm not saying I definitely saw one, but I saw something which I can't otherwise explain.
And what else have you seen in the sky?
It looks very white on all the footage that we've seen.
But it wasn't. It was a fireball.
Oh, yeah, it was like bright orange.
Yeah.
It must have been, I'm guessing it must have been a good couple of miles from like one end to the other. But it looked a hell of a lot closer than it possibly was.
Yeah.
But it lasted a good, 20, 30 seconds?
Yeah, when you see stuff going across the sky, if that had been a shooting star, they usually last about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And
yeah. I've only ever seen one shooting star, and it was literally like a couple of seconds.
Did you wish on it?
I think I did. If I remember right, and the wish didn't come true. But anyway.
Now, the other thing that I want from you guys tonight, everybody has a story about something that happened when they were at work. I was told a classic. You know how banks years ago decided they were not going to have a security guard there overnight. Instead, they're going to lock up the building, and then they'll have a security company drive there at 1 o'clock, and then like a mobile, and he goes round the outside of the counters kind of thing, and he
Yeah.
clicks his he ticks the box or presses the button or
Yeah.
whatever he's going to, keys his thing in, gets in the car, locks up, heads off to his next one. True story, this happened in the centre of Newcastle upon Tyne. And for those of you what know, the bank concerned was Lloyd's, and it's still there. This guy was doing what he was doing, and he was kind of caught short. And he thought, well, I'll just go to the loo in the bank. But when he got to the bank, the toilets are behind the counter.
Yeah.
And you kind of get behind the counter. He could only get to the front bit. But he was desperate. So he thought, I'm going to have to be a bit clever here. So he got his newspaper and he spread out the paper on the floor and he went across to a pot plant and he pulled the pot plant out and stood the root ball on the paper, and then he sat on the edge of the he sat on the edge of the planter. He did what he needed to do, and with a packet of Kleenex, he'd sorted himself out, put everything in the bottom of the bowl thing, and then he puts the plant ball in, makes it all nice and neat, and gets in the car. He drives it, locks up, and drives away. It was the next morning when he says, "You come into the office, please." He says, "The bank's just shown me some CCTV." Classic. What's happened to you? Give Chris a call right now on 0191 488 3188. Or if you want to miss the queue ringing up, just text us that you want to WhatsApp us 07863 431 837. Okay, let's get on with it. We got Andy. He's in Spennymoor. Hello, Andy.
Are you around?
Hello, mate. What are you talking about?
Out of curiosity, we've heard note about Brexit.
Okay.
We've heard note about COVID.
Right.
Plenty about Russia.
Yes.
Plenty about refugees.
Yes.
What's going on? Because according to his government, Brexit, which is do as he plays anyway, COVID, it doesn't exist anymore.
Pretty much.
And
they just needed another story, didn't they? The whole thing with Brexit, they were desperate to get Brexit off the front pages because it wasn't going the way they wanted.
What about the party gate? That hasn't gone off the pages yet.
Right. Well, it shouldn't have, but
it's disappeared, apparently.
They seem to have got away with it because they're talking about, it's far more important things now. And interesting, though, that Boris Johnson believes that the vote for Brexit was like the Russian invasion of Ukraine. What's going on in his head? That's ridiculous.
What about 1st of April? Red diesel, they're getting rid of.
Yes, I heard that.
What's all the farmers going to do? That's all they use.
No, absolutely. And on top of that, they're thinking of
it's all money-wise.
Penalising anybody that's got a diesel car or whatever, and that's pretty much every industrial company that's out there. Every haulier uses diesel.
Well, I know I'm not racist or out like that, but I'm going to make a comment on this one.
Okay.
£350 a month for people to take the Ukrainians in.
Yes.
Right? We pay that a week for a hotel for the refugees they're bringing in on the boat.
Right.
That's for the hotels they're living in.
Yeah, they've got to.
No,
they've got to
where's all the? My point is, where's all the money coming from?
Well, with respect to the Ukrainians,
I've got no disrespect against them.
Right, but you're talking about the refugees. You don't want to. Well, you see, I've always believed that what should happen with that is if they're genuine refugees, if they are, the thing is, how do you prove it? You've got to do what the Australians and I believe the Canadians do it too. They put them in a secure place, like they're kind of like hostels, but in Australia they call them camps. And you're in the camp until you're proven to be a proper refugee. Then you're allowed in. If you're not, you're kept in the camp until you're put back on another boat or another plane back out of the country to where you came from.
Yeah, but look the way we doing it. We dumping these boat refugees into hotels He do as he please. He getting everything he wants.
But what should you do with him then?
What can you do with him?
Well, the thing is, if you don't give them somewhere to live, what do you do with them? You said you put them in prison?
What happened in the old military camp? Oh, he said, it wasn't good enough. And that was down Kent.
Right.
He said it wasn't good enough and we had to be moved out and put into hotels.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't substantial and good enough.
Right.
Why, if it's not good enough for our lot for them lot to live in, our soldiers have to live in that.
Yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
it's just diabolical getting.
Yeah. But the thing is, Brexit, if you remember, the promise of Brexit was this would never be a problem again because every port and every airport would be tightened up and people would be sent straight back and they wouldn't need to go to court and spend up to £100,000 a person to find out whether they're going to stay or not.
I'm going to say something. Brexit. You're on a conservative Brexit. We didn't want to have Britain out of Europe. Now, since day one, it's just been waffled.
Waffled, right.
What would you call it? It's just been dealt with any which way possible.
Right.
The way the Conservatives want it. Now,
but
somebody tell me...
Boris pushed for Brexit. You say that the Tories didn't really want it.
We didn't want Brexit. Theresa May, she tried stopping it. Well, you know that.
And so did David Cameron. But Boris got his way, and in it came. But he's a Tory, so surely some Tories obviously wanted it.
Well, some did.
Right.
A lot of them didn't.
Okay.
And it's like, you know, where you've got all these people where we're taking all the properties off them, all the money and all, we're freezing the bank accounts,
Yes.
the Russian ones.
The oligarchs, yes.
So if that's the case, when's the Conservatives going to give government, going to give whoever the money that the Russians has paid the government, the Conservative Party?
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath over that one, mind. Andy.
Well, see, my point, it's like double standard.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's double standard.
Yep. No.
But I've said what I've said what I've. This business of nuclear warheads on the move today.
Yes.
Under police deployment to military bases. So we know that something's happening there.
Yeah, it's not good news.
Anything
to do with nuclear, it's never good news.
No, it's not good news whatsoever. But at the end of the day, I am totally against what Putin's done abroad.
Sure.
And it's just disgraceful.
No, can't argue with
but,
that.
Right, Alan, I'm going to go and
All
I'll say thank you very much.
Thank you. Much obliged to you. There you go. And Andy and Spennymoor had his say. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever you want to talk about, that's what we do. 01914 488 3188. Edwin's with us. He's in Gateshead. Hello, Edwin.
Hello, Alan. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. Dive in.
Great. What was the show last week again? Because it seemed to be different last week, didn't it?
Always a bit of all sorts, as you know. It was fairly heavy on the Ukraine situation last week.
It was just a setup seemed to be different, yeah, where you had people live, on the screen and stuff like that. Seemed a bit. Just a couple of things, mate. They need the government. I think we should have a change of government. I've said this before, but I think we should really. I mean, I just think Boris has lost the plot.
Right. I'm not sure he ever had the plot. But
that's true. I think there's so many things. One, isn't it? There's obesity with kids. There's, they need to bring the sugar levels down in food. There's so many things. There's the roads are a state. There's a problem with the energy and that energy crisis and that. And we need to sort things out in this country, and we're dealing with things in other people's backyards, I think. But
well, you think the Ukraine situation, in fairness, though, is because Russia, we got a whole batch of energy from Russia, and so did much of Europe. So you cannot help but to be affected by that whole thing going on.
Yeah, I think as well with hospitals as well. I think the food was good there. I think that would help people recover better as well. I think it is good. I mean, it is. You can't really knock them, but I think Jamie Oliver tried, didn't he, with that sort of thing? I think he's really great. And a lot of chefs and that. Just a couple of different things. Security in Ireland housing estates, I think that should be better. I think we should try and do something about that. I live on the Lean. It's not too bad, the Lean, but like Beacon off where I'm from, really, I can read back there. I would like to try and see if I can get some security up there and try and help people.
What do you think would do it, though?
I want by mobile security or something like that. Mobile security, just going around keeping an eye on things and trying to keep trouble down. Because you hear people complaining a lot about what's happening to them and stuff like that.
I think they've tried a few times. There was because the trouble got so bad a few years ago. Individual people were setting up their own local security service, and they say, "Look, pay us, like each house pays us 20 quid a day, or sorry, 20 quid a week, and we'll patrol your streets, and we'll spend the whole time making sure that this street nothing happens to it." And everybody thought, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea." Nobody's got 20 quid to spend on anything like that.
I feel sorry for people up there because there's a lot of good people still up Beacon Loft, a lot of nice people, and it's just a shame the way it seems to be gone. But I just wish we could get the council to get the security, because these used to be security for the council. Right. So I worked for the council before, and I've been onto security there where they've come round in the vans. These have the mobile security. Right. I didn't know what's happened with it now.
Well, that the councils are being starved of money, so they've got to cut back and cut back and cut back. And when Brexit happened, they lost about between 25 and 40%, depending, of the money coming in, because Europe used to subsidise an awful lot of this kind of thing, and that disappeared when Brexit happened. So we paid a fairly heavy price. Anything else, Ed?
No, that's it. Take care. I look up yourself. Right?
You and all, man. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye. That's kind. 019148883. Whoops, that's me punching the microphone with one of me bling. 01914883188. Apologies for that. And we have Susan next. Susan is with us from Wallsend. Hello, Susan.
Hi, Alan.
Hello.
It's just my second time on, and I'm still very nervous.
Hey, no need for that. So, what are you talking about? I gather it's a hidden gem.
Well, I live right next to the Rising Sun Country Park.
Right. Yes.
And we've got a little a Cavapoo dog, and we take him for walks around there.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes I go around on an evening, and when it's like getting really dark. And I often think, well, I don't know if yous would have enough stories to do a ghost hunt there.
Yes.
But some of the walks, especially at night, I think would really work.
Well, on the Rising Sun Country Park grounds, there's an old plague hospital, which plague hospital, plenty of stories there. Have you been into the Owl Centre? They've got an Owl Centre there, haven't they?
I haven't been there. I know there's a farm further down,
right,
and there's a few lakey areas where I've walked around.
Yeah.
And they have like animals. Sorry.
It's definitely worth a look though, because there is a lot to it. We were invited down, Tony and I, to come and see the owls, because as I say, there's an owl exhibition centre kind of thing, and they fly them and show them off and what have you. And it's amazing. But because hardly anybody knows it's there, because you're just down the road from the big supermarket, aren't you?
Yes. It's about, if you walk straight through the Rising Sun, it's a 20-minute walk from where we are.
Brilliant. Hey, well, perfect place. Have you got it? Yeah, anybody that's got a dog, that's a dream come true on your doorstep, isn't it?
And our little doggy's called Casper, just like the friendly ghost.
Wonderful. Anything else then, Susan?
I don't think so this time.
Okay, well, we'll catch you next time round. Thanks for calling, Susan. Good call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right,
Bye.
bye. 0191 488 3188. Rattling through the calls, which means you will be able to get on if you contact us immediately, if not even quicker. Peter from Chelsea will be talking to very, very soon indeed. I think we're just engaging him. He should be there now. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. What are you talking about
I
tonight,
just realised it's my birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah, the first day of spring, yeah?
Excellent.
Yeah. Hey, I was saying I was watching this programme a couple of weeks ago about paranormal activity caught on camera, you know?
Right, huh?
And it was in Turkey, and the camera was outside the shop. And this gentleman, he was getting his the vegetables in, you know? And this man was walking past with a dark overcoat on and a cap on, and he touched him on the shoulder.
Right.
And just then he turned around, and if he hadn't have really, moved in that second, you know, this gate on a lorry would have hit him, you know.
Whoa, right.
They didn't know who the man was, you know. He just, in that second, you know, if he hadn't touched him on the shoulder.
What's the chances of that?
And he hadn't turned around, it was like a warning. It was going to happen, you know,
Yeah.
like praying.
Yeah, like a
Completion,
premonition.
if that's the right word.
Premonition. Yeah, premonition. It saved his life.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's what happened once when I went to the Spiritualist church, you know.
Oh, yeah, what
And
was that?
I think there was a bit of jealousy, you know, because I was getting things right, you know. And there was a spiritualist, right, and she was a Mary Duffy, you know. She was like, oh, I don't know. She was, like, and I was telling her about, she says, oh, we all get these precognitions, you know, kind of thing. It's a bit like that when I did drama once, you know, there was a bit of jealousy.
Right.
Amateur drama, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
we
no,
go
I understand, yeah.
Yeah, Puss in the Boots, you go a bit jealous, you know. Babes in the Wood, I got the part Wally, you know.
All right, brilliant.
First time I done it, I was thrown in the deep end, you know.
Uh-huh.
I was a king's messenger, you know.
Right.
And I said, here we go, I'm on the stage, me, and Willie and I was Wally, you know.
Right.
And the one who wrote the script, he used to do for his tenders at the time, you know.
All right. Wow.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And anyway, at the end of the night, I got the biggest applause, you know.
Excellent. You must have been
I
great.
didn't like that. They with the plastic knife, you know, etc.
Right.
And as I said, I was at the back of the stage, and we were celebrating because everything went well, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And I said, "Oh, did you hear that? I got the biggest applause." And Puss in the Bush was nicely. And she turned around and she said, "No, you didn't," you know. She says, and I did actually. And the elderly lady, when I come out, she says, "I've been coming to the pantomime for years, you know." And she says, "It's the best I've ever been." She says, "I didn't like the idea of the knife, you know." And I said, "I didn't actually, you know, but it's part of the pantomime."
Right.
And you usually find the stories are very, what you call it, you know?
Yeah.
They've got a old sudden tilt to them, you know?
You've got to have a little bit of threat, haven't you, in a pantomime? You know? So you can get
You
somebody
give me
to-
the confidence, Alan. Well, about 30 years ago, I rang you show up. You've been on night outs for years.
That's right.
And I told you a poem, you know, and I got me confidence, you know, when I lived in Ashburn.
Well, I'm glad I was able to help in some kind of way.
Would you like to hear one of my poems, though?
I would love to hear one of your poems, Peter.
Just, I'll give you a nice, something a bit happy one, you know?
Go on, then.
The future has arrived, all memories have passed. Enjoy every moment and make it last. And sail along life with a good strong mast. And you shall arrive to a golden shore of memories vast. You know?
That's very
That's
nice.
a nice one.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. Appreciate it. Thank you for sharing.
It actually got put in a book where one of my poems when I lived in Raynham, you know.
Wow.
I was proud of that, you know.
Star, you see, star of the stage, star of the literary world. My goodness, there's no stopping you.
Yes.
That's good. Hey, well, thank you very much for calling in,
Yes,
Peter.
it's very nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to coming up in soon, you know.
Well, that'll be
sometime
good.
in the
It's
future.
very, very soon. Look forward to it. Thank you. There you go. Peter in Chelsea wants to come home. 01914 88 3188. We have Simon next, and Simon is with us in Peterlee. Hello, Simon.
Hey, mate, all right?
Yes, good. What can we do for you?
Oh, wait, said to Chris earlier, lost me dad to dementia 10 days ago.
I'm sorry, man.
It was hard work, but I'm kind of glad that he's gone in a way, because dementia is a bit of a prison.
No, it is absolutely. Both of my parents went that way too, and it's the last thing I would wish for anybody. How long did you have with him while he didn't know who you were?
Wait, I hadn't seen him since September 19, and then COVID hit and travel restrictions. Because I live obviously up here in the northeast, and my parents live down in Dorset.
Gotcha.
So travel. I mean, even though I was obviously willing to break the rules,
difficult though, because
my
once you get
mother-
down there, you possibly wouldn't even be able to get in. So that's the thing, right?
So it's kind of nice in a way that I didn't see him for this time, because I can just remember him for what he taught me growing up.
Yeah, the way that he was rather than the way that he was at the end.
Yeah.
Bless him.
I mean, teaching me how to shoot and fish and that kind of thing. I mean, I grew up in rural Dorset.
Right. Beautiful.
So, I mean, we did shoot, fish, catch, grow things that, we didn't have a lot of money. So that was how we filled our freezer and our fridge.
Great. Absolutely.
So it was like you say, it's nice to remember him.
Yeah, the way that he was.
At
his best, really, I suppose.
And teaching me how to, fix me skateboard, fix me bike, teach me how to fix a car, and take me down to the scrapyard and, get go-kart or wheels to make a bogey and that kind of thing,
Yeah, proper dad. That's lovely.
Right.
Isn't it funny? Because back in the day, dads did everything. And I'm sorry, but I think most of the blokes that I know who are dads couldn't turn their hand to half of what our dads did.
I was just walking down the town the other day, and there was two lasses walking up through the subway. They didn't even have their hands on the prams. They just had their bellies on the handle of the pushchair and their faces buried in the mobile phone. And it's just completely foreign to me.
Yeah, different world these days, same.
Right.
Absolutely. Were you able to attend the funeral or too far away?
Well, it's not actually. There wasn't a funeral because neither me dad or me mum. I mean, she's quite the way along with dementia as well. They didn't want a funeral. It's just like a cremation and then disposal of the ashes.
Gotcha. Right. Oh,
so. But I just think
it must have felt
in a way.
It must have felt kind of strange though, because usually when if you lose a parent, there's a place to go first of all to see them when they've passed, and then there's a service, even if it's a crematorium or whatever. There's usually all of that kind of stuff, which gives people a chance to grieve. It was like it happened away, and you hadn't seen him for a while. It's hard to grieve, I would guess, for you, Simon.
Yeah, it is. I mean, on the day, that my brother phoned. My brother came over from France, and he did get the chance. The hospital said, well, there's only one person. I don't know. It's still COVID restrictions.
Right.
And the hospital said, well, there's only one person that's allowed to visit, and that was me mum. And my brother said, well, I'll just come over all the way from France, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of legal entanglement in nonsense and mess.
Yeah, it tends to be. That's families for you all over. I'm afraid that. But bottom line is, it's all sorted. Has he been cremated and he's...
Yeah, well, the cremation is tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, right, okay. I will.
Yeah. But, do you know what? I think the reason I got in contact as well, I mean, I do listen most Sundays, not all Sundays, so you'll have to forgive me.
Fair enough.
But I just feel like today, being the eve of me dad, his cremation is tomorrow, and I feel like a weight's lifted off me. And the same thing happened when my wife died. And the day before, it was just like this, just like weight lifted.
Right.
I mean, I'm not. I don't believe in an afterlife, or sorry, not to disrespect yourself. I'm agnostic.
Right. Okay.
So if you can, like, give me some kind of evidence, then I might have a bit of a belief or not, if you know what I mean.
I understand. Well, it's all about faith, isn't it? That's what it is. Depends what you believe.
Yeah.
You don't believe in it, that's fine. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all I've got to say. I mean, I have had a bit of a drink tonight, Alan.
That's all right. Don't worry. You deserve one. Well, good luck for tomorrow. I hope it goes well for Dad. I hope he
Thank you, Alan.
Sets off on a new adventure. Thank you for calling. He doesn't believe in it. I do. So we wish him well. Whatever. Wherever the spirit ends. 0191 488 3188. Time for another star to come out at night. We've had a whole load of them already. Let's have another one. This time, Roland Gift. Do you remember the name? Lead singer with the fine young Cannibals. I asked him what he was frightened of.
Are you frightened of anything, irrespective of ghosts? Are you frightened of anything? Heights, spiders, dogs, cats, injections?
No, nothing like that. I'm frightened of. I think I'm frightened of dying.
Why? Do you think you go somewhere else?
Or not even probably the way. I'm frightened of a painful death or a sort of a prelude before certain death.
Right. Do you believe you go on somewhere else or not? Do you believe in reincarnation or an afterlife?
I think the soul. I think that the soul must carry on. I think something must. I mean, I've got 2 children, and I can remember before we had the first child, we could just sort of like hear this voice, this there was a presence sort of saying, "Get on with it, get on with it. I want to, I want to land. You know, I want to come out.
I'm on my way."
Yeah, and there was I had a real sense of that.
The energy of life.
Yeah,
speaking to you almost. That's beautiful.
But and I know you can't destroy energy. You can transform it and it changes, but you can't.
So it has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Houses, remembering that this place here was an actual place. It wasn't just a house. It was a house surrounded with a garden, and it had its own grand place name. Westmoreland Place is how it was known for the Earls of Westmoreland. And what they said at the time was that when the plague was going round, a lot of people just stayed indoors. You can imagine we've had a similar experience with the whole COVID thing. And when beggars, it was quite common for beggars to knock on the doors of the rich and the wealthy. And the story goes that when they knocked on the doors during the time of the plague, the whole family refused to allow their servants to go home, because a lot of them did live in their own homes, usually little tenements. They refused to let them go home until the plague had gone. So the plague was with the north for a year and a bit, and then it went away and it came back 2 years later for another year. So imagine not seeing your family for a year just because rich people didn't want to open their door. And that's the truth. And a lot of people died. 375 in 1591. Oh my goodness, this goes on forever. Have a look. That place. Absolutely silent in here. And yet, go further down. Can you hear voices?
Mm-hmm. It's like a crowd, that.
Does it sound like a...
Yeah. We're in town. Could be a building alongside or something.
We're underground, aren't we?
No, we just come down to the ground level.
Oh, ground floor.
Yeah, ground level.
Right.
Members only.
I've got a member.
You've got a membership.
Look at it, just look at the carving on that. It's just an old radiator. Beautiful, gorgeous looking thing. And this is where it was recently repaired thanks to a member. Bless them. A little bit of work needs doing here, and they're aware of it. You can see it on the ceiling. This building deserves it. Look at the wooden shutters on the windows as well. These are called silence rooms. So if you want to come and do some study on your own, you would sit in here, not bothered, not pestered, nobody even in your eyesight. There's another little silence room here with somebody with hemorrhoids has got a cushy in it. They say that they've heard like noises of paper and such, pages being turned. And this is the place for it. What I'm going to do in a moment, I'm going to try for a few other spirit box devices.
Got the SLS camera to use as well.
Yeah. Do you want to go and get it? And I'll get another one of these. Or should you want me to...
I mean, I can't carry this and that. So just wait until we go upstairs. Yeah.
Is that you, Tony?
No.
Do you hear a noise?
Yeah, over near you. Your mic would have picked it up.
I hope so. I think it was that chair. There's a chair about. Look at that. The thing on the back of the chair is moving. It's got like a little thing on the back of the chair. It was that moved. I think. Look on the back. It's just stopping now. Have a look on the back of it. Can you see it?
I can see it now.
How about that? Right, come on then. Let's see if we can catch anything on this. Just a piano. With music room. Say music twice.
Yeah.
Music room twice. That's upstairs.
The North. Alan Robson's Night Owls. The phone-in that gets you talking.
And we got a whole batch of info piling in as well. And this is from Mark. He says, can you remember a comedy series that was on ITV between 87 and 93 called Watching? I remember seeing it the first time round. I bought the complete series on DVD a few years back. Been rewatching it over the past couple of weeks. It's one of those where you're left wanting more. Main character Brenda, played by Emma Ray, who retired from acting apparently in 99. Also, Mike's been on to say that John Coulson has sadly passed away, former colleague, grew up in Benwell, he did. And Allison says, Allison, who was on at the very beginning, and I said, tell me something good about Anfield Plain. Ever since she came on saying she couldn't think of anything good about Anfield Plain, she says, I've been told some special things that people think about Anfield Plain. Things to be proud of. The old Co-op, which is now a massive attraction at Beamish Museum, was once in the heart of Anfield Plain. Cuthbertson's family business that's been there for several generations. Electricals, fantastic service to the area. Anfield Plain Park with the tennis courts, all recently renovated. Bowling Green, great park for kids. Anfield Plain football team who play in the Wearside League, they're doing well. The cricket club, that's been renovated. Oliver's Building Merchants, who's been supplying the building trade and DIYers for over 30 years. And last but not least, we have a tip, which is very handy. There you go. And she says, hopefully Alan will give me a bit credit back by mentioning how good Anfield Plain is, so I'm not chased out of the village. And also Elaine says, Eldon Square bus station apparently has a ghost. She says, I've seen her many years ago. I was waiting for my last bus with my then boyfriend, and as I was cuddling him, a white shape of a woman materialized behind him. I got such a shock, and she just disappeared. That's Elaine. So thank you for that, Elaine. And our next caller in, oh my goodness, it's Matthew. Let's go there. Hello, Matthew.
Matthew.
Oh, I beg your pardon. It's not Matthew. I recognize Jean. Hello, Jean.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
All right.
Well, that's good. What you been up to?
A lot of someone. A lot of something. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Where is she? Has she gone?
I'm here, man.
God, I can't make her out.
Here.
Where?
Phone
Chris, has
down.
she gone, Chris? I
I
can't hear her.
No, I haven't.
I can't hear her at all. Are you there, Jean?
I'm here.
Hello, Jean.
I'm here.
Hang on. Could you, if you're there, can you speak a bit louder, Jean?
Yes. I'm here.
I heard something there. That could have been.
Wait a minute.
Hello, Jean. She's there. Can you hear her? Hello, Jean. Can you? Jean. No, we're going to have to ring. We're going to have to ring her back. I can hear her in the background. It's like she's in the next back lane. You know.
I'm here, man.
Oh, there she is.
Hello,
Jean. Oh, I thought I'd missed you. I thought you'd flown off in your pram.
No, I'm that's memory. It's just funny. She's a lovely baby.
Because everybody calls your wheelchair your pram.
It's no Emily.
It's just Emily. Oh, that's sweet. How old's Emily?
Just 3.
Just 3. That's lovely.
You got a cartoon called a Zoom Broom. There's a witch, a dragon, and a paradise. And a she's a broom. Goes up for witch. He's over these chips.
Right.
That's her imagination. He's over these chips. I'll see the witch in the middle of that.
Right.
It's so funny.
She sounds like she's going to be a winner, though.
Yes, it's great.
Good.
Goes to a police and then the police and the music street.
Right.
So there's all the kids jumps around there.
Yeah.
He's just lovely. So say, Matthew, ask what he looks like. If he's going to come on, ask him what he looks like. If you told, sure or what.
Ask Matthew, right? Okay, I'll ask Matthew to describe his body to you.
No, I was I said that Trump's going to jail. Never in the world.
No.
Trump is it? Wish you would.
Well, I mean, there's a possibility. It could happen.
I hope so.
Right, well, we'll see.
He's a nasty piece of work. He's a murderer. Family little kids. He's serious.
Horrible mess over there at the present time.
It isn't it? Smacked everything up. Yes, that's my man. Give that teddy bear. Her girl started to cry.
That's...
Look my heart back.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Awful times.
World's going mad.
Awful times.
Please, God. And how are you, Kevin? All right?
I'm all right now. Well, everything's
How's
sweet with us.
Jennifer?
Jennifer's
I'll
good
still
too.
your stuff here. I'll still your stuff. I get down the taxi, down the Gracie. Ran away and kids for us.
Right.
Oh, that's all right. Hey, I don't tell you. The weather's going to get nice now. Thank God.
Right. I mean, are you going away anywhere this year?
I meant to go to Liz for the ticket to Carlisle.
Carlisle? Oh, that's nice. Like
Okay, thank you. I'm going to get me. Maybe I'll come on the train with me for the wheelchair that pulls up. They'll get me on the train with it.
Right.
I'm thinking, I bet things that come. This lights on. Oh, I can hear myself. It's terrible. I can hear myself.
Well, everybody can hear you, Jean. We lost you before, but I can hear you now.
No, but the lights on. I can hear myself talking.
Right.
I've turned the thing off, man. There you go.
Well, I'm just glad that we managed to catch up with you, Jean. That's the main thing.
Oh, man.
But you want to find out about Matthew. You want to know what he looks like.
No, just ask him.
Because he's on next. We've got him on next now.
Right. Hello to Linda on Palestine. Tell her to ring me up.
Right.
Linda on Palestine.
Linda, give us a call. Right.
Thanks very
All
much.
right. Thanks,
See you
Jean.
later.
Lovely talking to you. Bye-bye. There's Jean. She's now, little Emily calls her wheelchair her pram. Pushes her around. Now let's find out about Matthew. He's on the phone. Might as well ask him them questions right now. Hi, Matthew.
Hello, Alan. You all right, mate?
I'm fine. Jean wants to know what you look like. Describe your body to us, every inch.
Just a normal person. Just a night owl.
I know, but are you a big night owl? Are you a small night owl?
A small night owl.
Are you, like 3 foot tall? About 3 foot?
I don't know. I'm just little.
You don't know you're just little. Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying, Alan, I went out with Ian the other day, and it was a really good day down the beach.
Oh, excellent. Which beach did you go to then?
I'm going to Whitley Bay. I went to Whitley Bay. I'm going again this week.
That's a fine beach to go to.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm saying maybe Jean Spotley's down the beach with Ian. I don't know.
Well, this is the thing. You see, she wants to know how she'd recognise you. Do you wear a hat?
No, I just wear glasses.
You wear glasses. Are they round glasses like John Lennon? Are they big
Just
square
normal
glasses?
Just normal glasses.
Just normal
Ian wears
glasses.
glasses. You'll see Ian wearing glasses, and you know it's me and him.
Oh,
We both wear glasses.
If you see two people with glasses, it can only be you and Ian because nobody else wears them, do they? Really?
I know. I'm saying all the other points. Do you think Putin's a bad man for what he's doing? By the way,
I think he's very, very wrong, and I think his reasons for doing it, I kind of get, but they're not acceptable to any decent person.
I'm saying, Alan, I went on SoundCloud earlier on, and I used me a SoundCloud account called Night Owls UK with the grizzly things, because I went on it and it shows your logo. I don't know if somebody did it to try and wake me up.
Oh, it's our old one. It's just our old stuff on there.
Oh, okay. It's nothing new, okay.
Right. Is any new stuff on there or not, Tony?
No, just the grizzly ones, I think. I don't know if you're going to put anything on. I don't
Well,
think
I tell you
so.
what we're going to do, especially for you, over the next few weeks and months.
Yeah.
We're going to be putting on a special little medleys of the best calls on Night Owls. We're going to be doing that over the next few weeks. So
that would be good.
So keep checking on
you.
it because there's new stuff. We'll put some new stuff on there for you.
Is it for everybody?
For everybody in the world. But just,
okay, that would be good.
Just because you asked.
Thank you. I'm seeing me with planes, Alan. That's kind of it makes me happy because I love your show and I love the clouds a lot. It means a lot to me. It's been my best friend, like you have. Right. 3 more things. I'm saying, Alan, do you think it's going to be good weather this week, by the way?
I think it's going to be a mixture because it always is. We're getting into spring and we expect it to be toasty warm, and we're going to get some miserable days because we always do. So
yeah. I'm saying, Alan, I've had a really good week. I've enjoyed speaking to you today, and I've watched all the programs. I miss you during the week, but I enjoy your ghost hunts.
Excellent, good.
And I'll do my shout out to Mary and Jimmy, shout out to Jean, my friend, and Ian, and everybody who knows me. I'm saying, Alan, do you think Coronation Street's going too far with this affair, by the way?
I don't know what it is because I don't watch it. What's the affair? Well, tell me all about it.
Well, the affair is there's a woman called Abby in it. She's went with another man called Inrang, and he doesn't want his wife to know what he's been up to. Tell you. What I'm worried about is when Inrang gets caught, I'm gonna say I told you. But at the end of the day, if he's been having an affair with somebody, should he not be told? Look, you can't have an affair like that. You know what I mean? By the way.
He should be told. Absolutely.
Yep. I'm saying that when SoundCloud ended the recording, it upset me a little bit because I know it meant a lot to me. And you can still record if you get an app called Recorder Plus. You can still do that if you get that app. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true. But we've got an idea that we're going to use on SoundCloud, and it's not
That'll
just
be good.
SoundCloud. Tony, what's the name of the other thing that we're going to be on? Spotify, Google Podcasts. We got a whole idea of a whole batch of stuff we're doing on this. So
yeah, late night it was after dark used to do. That was good. That was brilliant. I enjoyed that. I missed that.
it's that kind of thing. So get ready for
Yeah,
it.
I tried listening to it on Google Podcasts to see if this playable this episode won't play. I don't know why.
Right.
My last two things, and then I'll go.
Okay.
I'm saying, Alan, do you think Putin should be allowed to kill with all for no reason?
No.
I think can't nobody kill him. He's this bad as Hitler.
Right. Well, I mean, it has been hinted by a lot of people that.
Yeah.
What's your last thing, Matthew? Because we must move on, mate.
I know my last thing is that I love computer games, and I wish they would bring a Night Owls computer game, and I'm really grateful the Greatest Hits Radio for bringing Night Owls, but I'm not going to get upset with them because they're just doing their job like you are. I'm not going to get upset like I did with Metro. I can't listen to Metro anymore for what they did to me. Okay.
Right.
Good night, Alan.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Matthew. Bye-bye. So there's Matthew. Now, we've got a third clue, which means the fourth clue is only 20 minutes away. Ooh. So get ready for this. 2 clues down. The third clue will follow a bit of music and a quick break. And the music is, of course, blitzing. It is Elton John, my goodness.
The hell is that? God. I'm coming to find you now. Where are you?
We're by the airfield, Tony, where the planes used to land.
Hi guys, Greg Secker here. Well look, I'm in Santiago, Chile. Today I'm making my way back from the Antarctic to the UK, where I'm going to be launching a brand new live lifestyle trader event. Now that lifestyle trader event is going to be set up live with me trading live and showing you currency markets. It's not difficult if you know what you're doing. You need a plan, you need a strategy, and you need to know exactly what you're doing. Well, I'm going to show you my plan. Not difficult to follow. It's something I'm going to do live. So I'm going to do this on a live webinar. I'm going to show you exactly how I find great opportunities in the markets, how I set them up. And then really they're running autopilot on my computer, so I'm not really doing anything. And I'm traveling around the world, seeing different things, getting involved in a lot of philanthropic projects. You might be aware that I build villages, do all sorts of mad things around the world, really just to keep me busy, because I trade the currency markets from about 6 in the morning to about 8. After that, I'm done.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for joining us a little bit early. Today, as you can see, we're marginally mob-handed. We have a 33 1/3% increase in our team. Obviously, behind the camera, we've got Hollywood McShane. My name's Alan Robson. Welcome if this is the first time you've seen anything we do. Every week on a Friday, we go out, 9 o'clock. You can see an amazing show. Tonight, we've come to a place with an amazing history. Kenny's with us, as always. He's wearing the same dirty jeans that he's washed twice and they're still filthy. Look. And something pushed him over. For those of you that are relatively new to what we do, every week for our supporters, we do a thing called the Blah, where we talk through anything we may have captured. Last week, one of you guys, one of the listeners and viewers, captured 3 full-bodied apparitions, and we were looking at them on Tuesday night. And if you become a supporter, you can see that and everything else that we've caught, because we have been incredibly blessed. We've had an awful lot of tremendous content, so make sure you join us, be a part of our ghost hunting, whatever it is we've got. Also, of course, joining us, the Buffin, who for donkey's years travelled all over Britain with us, doing all kinds of ghostly things. This is Richard Craig, and he's brought a whole ensemble of strange and amazing things, as always. So we're going to be using them as we go. We're on an airfield from World War II. Now, first of all, how cool is that? In the second half, we have an incredibly tragic story that I'm stunned Hollywood hasn't made a film of, because it's one of those incredible World War I stories that is not often told. And I only managed to find it when somebody who used to work, or whose great-grandparent used to work at Stannington Sanatorium, which became a mental hospital, obviously in Stannington. It's subsequently been pulled down. But the relative of somebody who worked there told me this story. And if you're connected with anything ghostly, the one thing that you get a lot of is people coming up saying, have you heard? And your heart kind of sinks a little bit, because you do out 200 of them a week. So it's like, oh, no, I'm not sure I have. This story was dynamite, and I'm going to share it with you tonight in part 2. However, this place here, come over and have a look. You can get through all the cloth. It's quite heavy in here. Just want you to see this, really, because we're here at a place called Tranwell. It's on the outskirts of Morpeth. The lightning doesn't hit you, but the noise with it does. If the lightning doesn't hit you, but the noise with it does. The third clue, the rock show that I used to do was called the Hot and Heavy Express. So the clue is the Hot and Heavy Express was one. What was? The Hot and Heavy Express was one. Okay. So you've now got 3 clues. Your 4th clue in about 15 to 20 minutes. Chris the Truck from Wallsend is next. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm good. Are you home or away?
I'm away at the minute. I'm on my way home now.
Hey. Have you got far?
Well, I'm down by Ferry Bridge at the minute.
All right. Oh, that's a decent leap. A leap back.
Aye.
Great.
So I've got to go to Hexham via Prudhoe and then back to North Shields. So
happy days.
And then I'll be done. So I should be done for about 7 o'clock in the morning, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, man. Hope it goes well for you. Right. So what are you talking about, Chris?
Well, I've got the What's It.
Oh, good lad.
And I have to say, the second song is a brilliant one.
Isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're all pretty good. The last ones.
Yeah, they are.
The last ones, I could give an extra clue. Not quite what you're doing tonight is the 4th clue. You might be able to work it out from that. Right. Aye. Okay. So, what are you talking about?
Well, I wanted to say thank you for last week. Because I felt great after that call. So
it's good.
Yeah, it sort of, I just felt great. So
Excellent.
I wanted to talk, because I was talking about my childhood last week, I wanted to talk about a jollier sort of bit of my childhood.
Okay.
And it was like, it's a thing that takes us back to my childhood, like instantly whenever I see it.
Yeah, what's that?
And it's Ken Dodd and the Diddy Men.
Oh, play me, yeah. We
And
are
it's
the
just-
Diddy Men. Diddy Men.
Yeah,
I know, yeah.
I remember seeing I think it was the Royal Variety performance in '87, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Ken Dodd was on there, and it was just brilliant. And whenever I see the Diddy Men, I think it's the Diddy Men in particular.
Right.
It just turns us into a child. I instantly just like giggle and smile, and
because it was innocent, wasn't it? Because now everybody, all the kids programs have to be a bit edgy. Even things like SpongeBob, there's like a bit of edge here and a bit of edge there. And you think back then, it was innocent. I mean, truly innocent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good as well because, like I say, I watched the stuff back, and he had a little bit of a. It wasn't totally for kids.
No, there was. He did what Disney do, where there's like one level for kids, and the kids get it, and then there's a little bit of double entendre that goes over the top of it that only the grown-ups get.
Yeah, it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's
brilliant.
It's pretty good.
But yeah,
somebody told me that his biggest hit, because he had number one hit in a few top tenors in his time, Happiness.
Yeah.
Happiness, the greatest gift. Now, apparently, I don't know whether this is true, but apparently it was written in a very rude way, and it was actually a penis, the greatest gift that I possess. I thank the Lord that I've been blessed with more than my share of a penis. I don't know whether that's true, but I would love to think that it was.
It would be brilliant if it was true, yeah.
For sure.
So, hidden gems as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple around Wales. Obviously, the Rising Sun's already been mentioned.
Yes.
But there's one up by where my work is. There's Silverlink. There's like a little walk there.
Right. I know the shopping. There's a shopping centre, obviously, and there's
it's
a load of car
up.
garages.
Yeah, it's further. It's past all the car garages, and it's up near. Do you know where the Village Hotel is?
Yes, I do.
It's like literally over the road from the Village Hotel, and it's like a little countryside walk, and there's like a big sundial on top of a hill.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's nice. There's a couple of little lakes, and you can go around. It's like a little country walk type thing.
Oh, that's worth knowing. That is worth knowing. No, sometimes I've been up there because one of my mates lives near the Silverlink, and we usually meet up. It's an excuse for Pizza Hut normally, up beside the picture, up beside where the pictures are. It's like, shall we go to the pictures? With Pizza Hut. Oh, yeah, we'll go to Pizza Hut. So sometimes we're just looking for, if I meet up with them, it's like I can either eat, but it would be just nice to go for a walk if it's a nice sunny day, and it looks like we're going to get a few of them.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
That's good
fingers
stuff.
Crossed, yeah.
Good stuff. Anything else then, Chris?
I thought of a couple of songs earlier on, but I forgot them.
Good man. Yeah, you forgot them all.
I'm just trying to think of them now.
Right. I've got a few here while you're thinking. When a lad loves a lassie. When a lad loves a lassie. Which is pretty good. I'm just trying to work out which ones I've told you, which ones I haven't, because I've been just jotting them on the same sheet of paper. Instead of a brick in the wall, somebody suggested a prick in Wall's End. That's not great. It ain't, instead of it ain't heavy, he's my brother. It ain't smelly, it's the borough. That's naughty. Comes from Gary in Stockton. War song, we've done that. Instead of push it, whip it, like the dog. I thought that was quite good. Stuck in the Middlesbrough with you. Doon Toon, which is an obvious one. I think that's about all I've got. No, way I am what I am. Right.
I think one of them was I'll Neat Long.
I'll Neat Long. It's I'll Neat Lang, actually, isn't it?
Aye. So I can't remember the other ones. Have completely gone.
I know, no worries at all. Hey, what's the? You know, we've been talking about like yowies, and we've talked about yetis, and all this, and big cats. Have you ever seen anything downright peculiar when you're driving around the country, especially late at night?
I think I've told you about this one before, but I thought I saw like a swirling ball of like fog.
Right.
Type thing, but I've never seen anything like crittery type wise.
Right. Okay. No, it's funny because when I used to work many years ago with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, it was called at the time, and I was out in one of their Land Rovers once, and a peregrine. Now it was either a peregrine falcon or like a harrier or something. It was hovering. You know the ones that hover above the road.
Yeah.
We pulled over and it was right in front of us. It was hovering, probably only about 5 foot higher than the top of the Land Rover, and we opened the door so we could get doors to get a better look, and it wasn't deterred at all, and it went down, landed on something which happened to be like a field mouse or something, and it just sat there on the ground eating it. We were without a doubt 2 feet. 3 feet away from it, wasn't bothered about us at all, was having its dinner, no problems. Nature, I think, is one of the things, and forget, obviously, creepy, spooky, Bigfoot or whatever, just the natural things that we tend to see, like rabbits and the ducks that'll cross the road, it doesn't matter how much traffic there is, all those kind of things, they're the most fascinating, aren't
I mean, the lay-by I was parked in earlier today, when I was having my time off, there was a few pheasants just walking around there. I think there was 3 of them.
Wow.
Just walking around in this lay-by, just pecking at the ground and stuff. So
I just think they're the dumbest of all the birds. They just don't. When it comes to traffic, it's like, oh, look, there's a car coming. It's heading right for me.
it's the ones that just run out from the side of the road in front of traffic as well. Just run across the road.
You cannot help them at all. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, well, anyway, get yourself home. 7 o'clock. You got another 6, and you're there. Good luck to you, Chris, and thanks for calling, mate.
No, but that's cheers, Al.
That's one. Bye-bye. There's Chris the truck. And his happy what's your happy place? We never asked this question before on the show. What's your happy place? His happy place is Ken Dodd and the Diddy Men. Takes him right back there. If I was thinking, what would mine be? I used to run home to watch Scooby-Doo, and then Scrappy killed it for me. I couldn't survive after Scrappy-Doo. Hate the films. But Scooby was special. And there was another program when I was really very, very small called How. 4 people around a panel. Jack Hargreaves, Fred Dainage, a woman I can't remember, and another guy. And they used to start by the theme tune would come on, and then they'd all raise their hand and go, how? And it was how you did things. Quite a clever program. And Jack Hargreaves also did a country program about fishing, about being in the country. And I used to love that because I was a townie. Never saw any country till I was in my teens, really, before I even got into the country at all. 0191 488 3188. What is your happy place? What takes you back to your childhood? Give Chris a call right now on 01914 488 3188. Make that happen right now. One of the bands that have provided us with a variety of sounds like no other, it has to be said. Well, they're heading in our direction and we can't wait. It's 10cc. We got Graham Gold. Imagine aeroplanes landing down here. Now, why were they here in the main? Well, it was a gunnery school. And originally, French operational unit was based here. However, a bit later on, 72 Squadron submarine Spitfires were also here. So, I mean, we're not talking just any old plane. The reason that we're here is with old aircraft, especially trainees who are keen to get up in the air, a lot of bad things can happen. you know a lot about this because you've got kind of a family connection to the land, which is why you're here, Richard. Tell us what you know about it.
The actual crash itself.
No, just the airfield. I'll tell them later about that.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Okay. Yeah, the airfield itself it wasn't called Tranwell, it was called RAF Morpeth. Now, a really interesting story about this airfield is, Alan was right, it was a gunnery school. And they had, you can still see the butts where they used to harmonise the guns on submarine Spitfires, etc., etc. They'd jack up the back of the aircraft, and you'd have 8 Browning 303 machine guns in the wings. And of course, they'd have to make them fire in a cone at a certain distance. So that's where they'd harmonise the guns. Now, the forerunner of the Avro Lancaster was an Avro Manchester, 2-engined, before Roy Chadwick got a hold of it and put 2 Merlin engines on it, and the Rolls-Royce Vulture engines, which were completely unreliable.
There was no stopping that Chadwick.
No stopping that Chadwick, brilliant man. And a Manchester was on site here. Now then, it was a bomber. It could carry a very large bomb load. What they did with it, they made an instructional airframe because 261 maintenance unit were based here. They thought, okay, we'll make it a training airframe. First job they did was take the propellers off to stop the Polish airmen just going off in it and having a little go, having a bomb in Germany or whatever they wanted to do.
Because you got to remember, Poland had already fallen. And the one thing that all of the Poles that had managed to get across here wanted to do was to hit back as quickly as they can. If you've ever watched the movie Battle of Britain, which I think is actually a good depiction of pretty much of what went on, the Poles would grab any plane they couldn't get out there. I'm going back. I'm going to get my revenge. However, what the British wanted them to do was to be calm, be cool. Didn't want them to waste the planes because planes were at a premium. So the one thing that they also did from here that I hadn't mentioned was it was a training gunnery school. And yes, you could balance the guns and make sure they were pointing in the right direction so that when you flew, you could actually aim them. Otherwise, they were just all over the place. But the interesting thing was they used to fly them to another part of the northeast where they'd built huge but hardboard versions of submarines, warships, enemy battalions, vehicles on the road, so that when the pilots managed to take off here with the aircraft with the guns, gunnery school, they learned to fire over Druridge Bay. And if ever you're lucky enough to be plodging about in the clarks of Druridge Bay on hopefully a day that's a damn sight warmer than it is tonight because it's freezing, sometimes you come across the actual shells that they fired, that they were aiming at something that had been set up as a target for them. Sometimes it was just plain targets, but they'd built all these other things so that when people went into battle, they knew what they were going to fire at. Bit of death on this ground too. Bit of death long before it was an airfield too. Group of Lowland Scots that took over Morpeth Castle, which is, I think, it's approximately that way. 500 Lowland Scots took over the castle. And the reason they took over the castle was because 3 Scots were hanged in Tranwell Woods, where we're going next. Tranwell Woods is known, isn't it, for being kind of poshy houses, isn't it? Poshy £1.8 million mansions with big fences and stuff. However, back in the day, not so. Back in the day, it was a wild. I mean, if you go back far enough, this was just wild woodland long before it was an airfield. But let's get ghost hunting. That's what we're here for. So let's get cracking. We'll tell all the other stories. There's a blister hanger. Yeah, 2. I gather. There's some gunnery emplacements as well. And one of my clues to where we were going tonight was we're going underground. Now, we had hope, but it's the department, the airfield, the owner that's allowed us on the land doesn't know, so we can't get into that. But that was a hidden underground, what's a bunker? That's no other way of putting it, really. It was a bunker, and I think that's what it's connected to some degree our air containment is another underground bunker. And it's purpose was?
Well, the thing is, you'd have protected operations down there, see? Right. Anything to do with communications, any top brass were visiting, you know, the down there, you'd have a lot of the top secret stuff. I think, in that
Right. It's not electrified like the one that's done it.
No, it's not electric. You get in before.
We had a thing that said it was electrified, and of course, we didn't believe it. But it was.
Oh.
Didn't take long, did it?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch them tonight.
Yeah, the brambles.
Yeah.
Look at this, what a place. And this, of course, this is a building also. I know it doesn't have its roof anymore, but this would have been part of it too, wouldn't it?
These would have been, you know, billets, storehouses, latrines, operations rooms.
And of course, it would be places where lectures would be given about how to fly and how the various aeroplanes worked.
Absolutely.
Amazing history, because if it wasn't for places like this, new pilots would never get up off the ground. The amount of history that's been here, look at the place. There's got to be stains attached. Now, we've set a few traps. Kenny's off on his own.
He's got the night vision on, so that's good.
You've got your night vision on, Kenny, so if you want to take a little behind, that'd be great. Do you know, whenever you see movies, so many things happen in a day during wartime. And I think...
Oh, that might be Kenny. The music box.
It's not in the house.
He just walked past that door, depending on where yours is. Where did he put it?
Oh, there's...
We've got Gwen and Ted in there.
You shouldn't have set it off. It's facing in. Facing in. Yeah. Facing in. Yeah. It's facing in.
We've got some interesting activity on K2. As soon as I walked in.
What are you picking?
It was flashing away merrily as soon as I came into this building.
I'd love to know.
Oh, just went off again.
I would love to know what this place was actually. Oh, there's Ted, Supernatural Ted's in there.
Supernatural Ted
is around the corner there as well. This is interesting. Oh yeah, we're getting blips here.
Okay, we're getting blips on the K2. So maybe if you want to ask a question or something.
You can do.
Oh,
it might want to play.
It might want to play. Right.
Is there anyone here with us? Is there anyone here with us?
That's looking quite positive.
It does. Were you here during the Second World War? During the war? Were you here?
If you're here, can you light it right up the scale, please?
Yes, prove to us that you're here. We need to know that you're with us. Light it up into the red. Right up into the red. It's impressive that you can do that much, but you can do much better. Prove it to us. If you're there, right the way up to red, then we can have a proper talk.
Let's go this way because the signal's going. I'll just turn around and go outside and place it in.
So are you going to make this move for me? Right the way up. I want to see red. Come on. You're not speaking now. See, left us in the lurch.
Yeah.
Left us in the lurch. We'll find you wherever you are. What would that be? Amazing old
Oh, it's
building.
going right off there.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
So those are on the foundations, aren't we? This could have been a room where
Oh,
something happened.
Yes.
Huge. It's a huge room. Did you hear some glass there?
Glass?
Like a glass noise?
Richard has something.
Oh, was that you?
This is interesting. What are you getting? Oh, hey. Okay. All right.
He's back. Or he or she. Well, that's better. Come on, I want to see you. You must get closer to us. Get closer to us if you can. Bugs. Oh, I'm getting a hint of red there. Speak to us. Make a noise. I want to hear you. I want to hear you. Come on, you can talk to me. Come on. We've got two ghost meters here. You're here. We can tell that you're here. Why won't you talk to us? Make a noise. Show us that you're here. Prove it to us. Prove to us that you're here. Come close. You're going to be with us tonight. We're here for you. We mean you no disrespect. You're coming round with us tonight. Come on. Show us. Come closer. If you come closer, these things will light. Come close to us. Touch us. Touch us. We're here for you. Make yourself known. Touch. Speak. Say something. Do something. Come close to us. We're not to be afraid of. Come.
That one on the right's really responding to your mum.
I know it is. Come on then. I'm here. I would love you to come close. Spend some time with us. We're here for you. If you want us here, let us know. Come close. Come close. Did you hear breathing there? Did you catch it?
Yeah, I did.
It was kind of like... Come on, if you can breathe, you can speak. Talk to me. Talk to me.
I'm going water out the air. That's this way. It's gone completely.
Come on.
Ah.
Oh, the hell. Here we go. Full house. Come on then. Are you English? He is English. Were you here at the aerodrome? Were you a flyer? Yeah. Or were you a gunner? I think a gunner is what he was. You learned gunnery here. And you were English. Did you die here? It looks like it, doesn't it? Did you lose your life here? Oh, hang on. In which case, let's test to see who it was, right? Because we know who died here. We'll tell you their story very, very soon. But before you do, make sure that you share. And if you share, make sure everybody gets to see this. And the more you share, the more chance you got to win one of our very, very cool night hour badges. Now, look, is your name, if you're English, there's only a certain number of people that they can be. Are you Sergeant E. Hall? Sergeant Hall, is that you? Not Sergeant Hall. Oh, hang on, there's a few names. Are you F.L. Beresford?
Oh,
Beresford. Beresford.
Yeah,
Bless him. Now, leading aircraftsman Beresford died aged 22. DJ Kruij, did you know DJ Kruij? Stanislaw Zarski from Poland. Franz van Westenbrugge. You know all these people. Then you them all. Look at he's responding. Did you know the 17-year-old Rudy van den Bron? Yeah. Air Gunnar van Egmond. George Rowan Jackson, the pilot.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Is that you, George? You're English. Is that you, George? Are we talking to George here? George, we're so sorry how you passed. We're sorry. You choose to come back here. Did you choose to come here, George? Time of your great success, your great heroism. You are a hero, George, and we thank you so much. We're sorry you had to die in such a fashion. You were trying to save the other plane, we know that. Are you glad that we're here to tell everyone about it? I think that's a yes.
Did you hear the tapping behind us as well?
I did. That's why I looked around.
Oh.
George, are you with us here? I know you're glad we're here, and I thank you for that. We're going to tell the full story, everything about you, because more people need to know about your heroism. When people hear about an accident, there's always more to it, and there certainly was that day. George, we'll tell your story now. Thank you very much, and bless to you. Thank you for coming back to us. We're going to be around here. Feel free to come with us and let us know your presence when you're there. Let us know. Will you do that? Maybe. Wow. Maybe you will. That's amazing. Incredible. Now, there was 2 incidents. There was one incident when an aeroplane, the Blackburn Botha, was trying to take off, and it went down the wrong runway, and it hit another plane coming in the opposite direction. And the pilot at the time, not George, the pilot at the time didn't have the experience to avoid it, and they hit head on, and one pilot was killed and another person was injured. They were very, very lucky not to have more casualties. Now, you got to remember, these heavy, cumbersome aircraft, people had a hell of a job to get them off the ground. But all of the people that I've mentioned, and they are heroes. One plane was Dutch with British trainers on board, and the other was Polish with British trainers on board. And apparently what was happening, Vice
Air Marshal?
Air Marshal, this is a very title. Thanks, Richard. Vice Air Marshal Babington came here to see what was going on. Now, whenever the big knobs arrive, everybody goes and puts on a show. So the idea was they'd get a couple of these Blackburn Bothas up in the air and do fairly low sweeps of the airfield, a massive, massive airfield. I know it's hard to see, but out there in the distance. So a lot of these trees weren't here then. The woods behind us were, but some of these trees are relatively new. And you could imagine Babington in his big, with all of his medals on, coming out and being guided by the commanding officer of RAF Morpeth, as it was, and seeing these planes flying around. Well, the problem was, according to what I've read, the 2 planes went across to the other end of the field, and then they were told to turn. So one turned to the left and one turned to the right, and they turned back around to do another sweep of the airfield. Problem was, when they got back onto the airfield, unbeknown to them, and I'm not even sure they knew how, both of the planes were heading in the same direction. One was the Poles, one were the Dutch, who were known at the time as the Dutchies. And the idea was always, and they were taught, to always turn to the left. Now, if he turned to the left and he turns to the left, it sounds like, well, they'll go the same way, but they're flying in different directions. So the left here goes there, the left here goes there. However, the Poles decided to pass the Dutchies on the left-hand side, and the other plane went the same way. So they ended up hitting head-on, smashing into pieces. All 10 people were killed. Now, this was not the fault of the trainers. Tragically, it was the fault of the people that they had at the controls who were learning how to do it. It wasn't really their fault. This was something that it's very tempting to try and show commanding officers how well your people are doing. Maybe just in this case, the controls were put in the hands of someone who didn't quite have enough experience. And tragically, we lost all of those brave men, including George, who's been with us tonight and might well be with us to come. But a hell of a story. Very sad, wasn't it? And there's no other, I mean, things, when you're training, things like that must have happened all the time.
All the time. There's dozens.
But time for all 4 clues. Okay, 4 clues. Each clue is a song. Whose hits? Whose greatest hits are these? First clue, lots of tea in Cockney slang. Lots of tea in Cockney slang. Second clue, if the lightning doesn't hit you, but the noise with it does. Third clue, the Hot and Heavy Express was one. The Hot and Heavy Express was one. And the fourth clue, the road that goes the opposite way to heaven. It doesn't go to heaven, it goes the opposite way. The road that goes the opposite way to heaven. Okay? 4 clues, 4 hits. Whose hits? 0191 488 3188. Chris is waiting for your answers right now. He knows what it is. I hope you do too. Get to those telephones right now. Let's see how you fare while we go and find out what Sean's been up to. Hiya, Sean.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm good. All the better for hearing from you. I gather you've had a sighting on Holy Island.
Well, just off Holy Island. I actually live on the mainland, just opposite Holy Island.
Right beside Beale.
I just down from Beale. I'm down by Fenwick, sort of Fenwick that way.
Gotcha.
Just as you turn before the causeway.
Gotcha.
Well, it was about 7 years ago, and for my sins, I used to go out and shoot duck and wildfowl on Holy Island. And It was a night like tonight. It was a decent moon.
Uh-huh.
So I went out with the dog. I had a lovely spaniel called Jed, and we went out onto the marsh.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a place right in the middle of the marshes called the Dolphin Stones, and it's a bit of a trek to get there.
Right.
And yet you have to kind of understand how to get there because it's mud and very, very sloppy.
Yeah.
So we went out there at night. And then there was a lot of clag come in, like a lot of sort of sea mist come in.
Right.
And actually I started to lose my bottle a bit. So what I did was I thought I was walking off the marsh.
Right.
But I actually started to walk out to sea.
Oh my goodness, that's dangerous, man.
Yeah, it was. It was very dangerous. And what happened was the little dog I had, Jed, he's sadly passed away now, but he started to veer off to the left.
Right.
And I was determined I was right. So I started to shout at the dog. I was like screaming at the dog, like, come off, because I was panicking the tide was coming in.
Right.
I could hear the breakers coming, so I thought, actually, something's not right here.
Yeah.
And this little dog, little black spaniel, started to peel off to the left. And then there was a guy, he was just there in the middle of the mud and the marshes and the oyster beds and the mussel beds. And the dog went to him, and I was screaming away. I was like, no, come on. And the dog wouldn't come, and I was starting to lose my rag. And then, Alan, as I went towards the dog, this sort of guy, this figure, started to walk left, and the dog started to follow him.
Right.
And as the dog started to go left, I was getting more and more irate because I could hear the breakers, and I was thinking, oh my God.
Right.
I'm going the wrong way here, and it was really misty. But what happened was that we ended up on the causeway, so the rescue huts between.
Yes.
So the dog had pulled off left, and this figure had sort of gone left as well. And I was then a bit ashamed because I'd been shouting at the dog, and I'd kind of been frustrated and that.
Yeah.
But this figure never ever got any nearer. Now, what I did was I shouted to the figure at the end. I said, thank you. and this figure just wandered to the right, which was out to sea. And this figure raised its left hand, and I was like, I was going to shout. I was going to say, no, you're going into tide. You're going into tide. And then I went back to get the dog because there was a car coming on the causeway.
Right.
And I looked back and the figure had gone.
But where?
Yeah, but on I was absolutely then the hair on my back of my neck raised because I realised that this figure, this dog, had pulled me onto the causeway.
Saved you.
Yeah.
Saved you.
And if I.
But I mean, where those huts are, it's still a canny walk back to where you live.
Well, it is, but we were even like a half a mile to the right, so we were what you call the dolphin stones in that big bowl of marsh and mud, because that's where they are and that's where the mussel beds are.
Right.
And if I carried on my way, I would have went straight between the gap between the beacons and the castle.
Doesn't bear thinking about, man.
But honestly, this figure just raised a hand, and as I came back, because a car came along the causeway, I shouted to the dog to get in, because I was panicking about the dog getting ran over. And I looked back, and the figure had gone, and there was nowhere this figure could have gone at all.
Well, there's nowhere earthly. You know, it would have to be he or she. Was it a he? I'm guessing it was a he.
Oh, it was a figure, and it was
a man.
I couldn't decipher, honestly. Right. It was always in the clag, about 70 to 100 meters in front all the time. Right. And the dog was not afraid. The dog's tail was going, and I was screaming at the dog, saying, "Come on, you got to get off, you get off."
Right.
And I'll not forget this, because when I hit the tarmac of the causeway, I just felt, oh my God.
Yeah. You realise where you were, because it's only when you hit the tarmac that you realise. I mean, you were in the clag of the marshes, but the marshes lead straight onto where the sea essentially is going to be when the tide comes in, and the tides are fierce there as well.
Well, they are, because what people think is the tide comes in like in front of you, but it comes in from the left.
Right.
So it rushes over the causeway and it brings you down. Because I live really close to it, but this thing was just so real.
Great story.
And it was, honestly, I've written about it, and I've told people on Holy Island, and they've said, "Well, where did this figure go?" And I said, it just disappeared. When I went to get the dog get the dog in off the lights, because get in because of the car coming, and I turned back and showed this guy, "Look, this thing, you're getting out to sea." It had gone. Right. And honestly, then the hair on the back of my neck raised, and I realised I'd been saved. Absolutely saved. I mean, and to this day.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Carry on. Sorry, on.
No, all I was going to say was that I always, and I think one of my teachers from infant school, her name was Miss Gibson. She lost her life on the causeway when a car ran out of petrol. He went to get a can from somewhere, didn't get back in time. Car was swept away. She was lost. And that was when I was really, really small. So I've always had a lot of respect for the tide there, because you can't afford not to. And yet I was doing some work in America with some telly people, and they came over to the Northeast because they wanted to do a few shows here. And I said, "Look, I'll take you to Holy Island." And I got there, and I had 30 minutes to get across. But if I'd got across, we'd be stuck there. So the thought was, well, let's get across. And if we're going to spend the night, there's places you can stay. So let's just do that. So I started driving over, and I'd mistimed the thing. And I got 20 feet out into the causeway, and the causeway was disappearing really quickly, with the water going over the top of it. So I did the fastest 3-point turn I've ever done, guessing where the edge of the road was, because you couldn't see it anymore. And then you turn around and you drive as fast as you can with that kind of splash going on both sides. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Well, the thing is, on as well, because I don't do it now because I'm a bit more informed. I used to shoot the duck and the geese out there, so I don't do it anymore. But when I used to walk out, I was really confident, so I would head out from Fenham Farm. I'd go straight out on what you call the Black Lough,
right,
which is a stream with an oyster bed and mussel bed. So you could walk straight out. You'd go to the Dolphin Stones. So these are really right out in the middle of the marsh, and like if you weren't a local, you wouldn't know how to get there.
Right.
But what happens when the tide comes in? People think like, oh, you can just walk off, but the sand and the mud turns to jelly.
Right.
So your feet go like, because the water comes in and like imagine the water table rises.
Yeah.
So it goes to jelly. So you've got to wear like mud pattens or like snowshoes. It's the easiest way to.
Yeah.
So this night was like tonight, lovely full moon. You know, I was thinking, I'm going to get me bag of duck and that, and like I was ill informed. I was still shooting, but then the clag came in. My God. And I just got disoriented.
Yeah, easy done.
And Alan, if the dog hadn't have just disobeyed me, he'd never disobeyed me before because he was a work spaniel.
Yeah.
I would have just wandered out to sea. And to this day, I honestly believe I was saved on that marsh.
I think you were too. Amazing.
Yeah, I do. Sorry.
Tremendous story though, Sean. Thank you very much for ringing in with it. Great to hear.
Yeah. Thanks for the time, man. Much appreciated.
No worries. All the best to you, man. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night. God bless. Bye.
There you go. Fenwick. We don't get many from Fenwick. Now, George from Concert says he has a quick Geordie poem, which I think he's got time for. Let's go and have a word with him. Hi, George.
Hello there, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'd love to hear your poem.
Well, my mother wrote this, must have been in the 70s, Alan.
All right, huh?
It's called Handicap Pub Patter.
Right, okay. Let's have it.
And it sums me father up to a T because he was never with the club. Right? There's just one boss in Warhouse, no matter what folk think. It's always me that calls the tune. Let's have another drink. Suppose I do Ganyem rolling drunk. She'll not have no to say. I think it's your turn to get them in before we're on my way. Divin tarting me about women's lib. I've heard it all afore. She wouldn't dare come out with me or she'd be at the door. Good night, lads. See you later. You can bang on me. Will you open the door, Flower? I forgot me key. I bought you a bottle of lager, love. I forgot to make me a home brew. I've just been telling the lads at the pub all I would do for you. I didn't know how you put up with me, remembering your lager, but forgetting me key.
But that's how it was, mate, wasn't it? Because when I was growing up, you'd see everybody coming home from work all clarty and covered with either muck if they were on the buildings or whatever. You'd been to the factory or whatever, and then they'd come in and they'd come out shining like a new pin, heading up to the club for a few hours. Brilliant.
I tell you what, if there wasn't a soul in the felon club, didn't know my old man. I tell you, hey man, he's never away.
And it was always, they always seemed to have their own seat. That's hey, you're in Billy's seat. Get out of there.
Mind, me father was a stickler for not having that though. Mind.
No.
Oh, I didn't like that. No, me father wouldn't put up with that. You got your bloody name on it. You just take it. He would just take it away and sit where he liked. He was as hard as nails. Excellent. He was only a little guy, but he was hard as nails.
Yeah. Fantastic. Happy memory.
Oh, well.
George, thank you very much. Great way to bring the show to close. Thank you for coming on.
Take care.
Thanks,
bye
man. Bye-bye. Do you know, you guys work better at the time than I do, and that's an absolute fact. Right, we are pretty much there. There's one thing I want to play for you very, very quickly. I mean, super quickly, because we are very, very fast running out of time. And this is coming back to the Northeast.
I've been away from the Northeast about 30 years, and I'm finally moving back what I call home next week, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I just miss Northumberland, the home, the sense of humour, the Geordie banter. Everybody's so friendly. And Stotties, Alan, I miss Stotties.
You can't get a decent cup of tea wherever you go. So as soon as I get back, that's the first thing I do.
And even though a lot of hotels, they say, well, is it English breakfast tea? And I always go, is that Thai food then, or Yorkshire tea? And they say, no, it's English breakfast. It's not the same. I don't know where they get it from, but it's not the same.
It's definitely not the same.
However, when you go abroad, then do you not just hire a load of tea bags in the suitcase with you?
I do, but it must be the water or it must be the milk. It just doesn't taste the same. It tastes better than their tea.
Yeah.
But it doesn't taste the same as a cup of tea out of your own kettle.
There's a lot to be said for home, absolutely. Right, 4 clues. Lots of tea in Cockney slang. What's that? If the lightning doesn't hit you, but the noise with it does. What song's that? The Hot and Heavy Express was one. What was the Hot and Heavy Express? Physically, what was it? And the 4th clue, the road that goes the opposite way to heaven. It does not go to heaven, it goes the opposite way. If you can work out those 4, or even work out one, and then Google the rest, work it out, give Chris a call. This is your last chance. Now, we were doing Northern songs. This one is called Sweet Bairn of Wars. Okay? Get it?